Here we go. Sorry about that. I did not know that we were not live. I didn't know. I didn't know. This program doesn't tell me either when it stops filming or stops being live. So, sorry about that, guys. I didn't know. I didn't know we weren't live. But now we are, so we're back. Baby, I'm back. I'm gonna have to wait for everybody to come in again. How's everybody doing? I guess I gotta start this thing all over again now, don't I? Let's jerk off. Him and his token rhino Republican sitting next to him. Oh my gosh. What a joke. What a joke it's been so far. It's just a joke. Let's see if there's anybody. Let's see what's going on here now. Worst hotel, Las Vegas. Whose channel am I on? Am I even on my own channel? Yeah, I am. Why am I getting that up? I see somebody wrote something. Somebody must be here. There we go. No, not too many buttons. You know what I did? I turned off my, I did a thing. I turned off, what did I do? Oh, I turned off the Wi-Fi because I have better signal non-Wi-Fi. I think that maybe what did it. Alright, you guys are here again. Hey, tell me, does this echo? Is it echoing when I play this? I'm curious.
The United States Capitol will be in order. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare the committee in recess at any point. Pursuant to House Deposition Authority Regulation 10.
Is that echoing at all? Just curious. Just curious. I'm very interested to know. Actually, I guess I could connect to the internet. I'm not. Is it echoing when I play this? I'm curious.
The United States Capitol will be in order.
Nope.
Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare.
All right, perfect. It doesn't echo. That's good to know. All right, you guys ready for this? We got 2 viewers here. That's all right. That's all right. While I'm here waiting, I wanted to thank 2 people donated some money yesterday. I want to thank them. Honkus donated, and then Nelson, I believe it was Nelson donated too. So thank you very much. We always appreciate that here. All right, let's play this video and let's hear this bullshit this guy's going to say. I know some of you may have seen it already. I haven't.
The chair announces the committee's approval to release the deposition material presented during today's hearing. Good morning. Last week, the Select Committee laid out a preview of our initial findings about the conspiracy overseen and directed by Donald Trump to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election and block the transfer of power, a scheme unprecedented in American history. My colleagues and I don't want to spend time talking about ourselves during these hearings, but as someone who's run for office a few times, I can tell you at the end of a campaign,
you know he likes hearing
it all comes down to the numbers. The numbers tell you the winner and the loser. For the most part, the numbers don't lie.
Wait, did you just hear that?
But if something doesn't add up...
Wait a minute. For the most part, the numbers don't lie. Really? Even he's saying not always the numbers don't lie. For the most part, the numbers don't lie. Your phone is dying. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
With the numbers, you go to court to get resolution. And that's the end of the line. We accept those results. That's what it means to respect the rule of law. That's what it means to seek elective office in our democracy. Because those numbers aren't just numbers, they're votes. They're your votes.
Yeah,
they're the
not
will
what they were
and
saying
the
when
voice
Donald Trump
of the
won.
people. And the very least we should
right?
expect from any person seeking a position of public trust is the acceptance of the will of the people, win or lose. Donald Trump didn't. He didn't have the numbers. He went to court.
So you say.
He still didn't have the numbers. He lost.
So you say.
But he betrayed the trust of the American people.
So you
He ignored the will of the voters. He lied to his supporters and the country.
That's what you say.
And he tried to remain in office after the people had voted him out.
If you guys want to come in the Discord, it's open.
The will of the people. This morning, we'll tell the story of how Donald Trump lost an election and knew he lost an election, and as a result of his loss, decided to wage an attack on our democracy, an attack on the American people by trying to rob you of your voice in our democracy, and in doing so, lit the fuse that led to the horrific violence of January 6th, when a mob of his supporters stormed the Capitol sent by Donald Trump to stop the transfer of power. Today, my colleague from California, Ms. Lofgren, and our witnesses will detail the Select Committee's findings on these matters. But first, I will recognize our distinguished Vice Chair, Ms. Cheney of Wyoming, for any opening statement she'd care to offer.
You mean that rhino?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Last week,
nobody's on here right now,
our committee began outlining a 7-part plan overseen by President Trump to overturn the 2020 election. Today, we will begin looking at the initial part of that plan. President Trump's effort to convince millions of Americans that the election was stolen from him by overwhelming fraud. A federal court has already reviewed elements of the committee's evidence on this point.
Elements, not everything.
Said this, quote, "In the months following the election, numerous credible sources from the president's inner circle to agency leadership and statisticians informed President Trump and Dr. Eastman that there was no evidence of election fraud," close quote, sufficient to overturn the...
Hearsay is not allowed in court, right? This is all hearsay. I thought all these people, most of these people are lawyers.
2020 presidential election. The court's opinion methodically documents each of the principal reasons for that conclusion, and I would urge all those watching to read it. Today, we will begin to show the American people some of our evidence. Today, you will hear much more from former Attorney General Bill Barr's recorded testimony, and you will hear in greater detail what others in the department told President Trump, that his claims of election fraud were nonsense. You will also hear much more from President Trump's own campaign experts, who had also concluded that his fraud claims could not be supported. Let me focus briefly on just 3 points now. First, you will hear firsthand testimony that the president's campaign advisors urged him to await the counting of votes and not to declare victory on election night. The president understood even before the election that many more Biden voters had voted by mail because President Trump ignored the advice of his campaign experts and told his supporters only to vote in person. Donald Trump knew...
Don't go outside. Corona's gonna kill you. You must wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask and go outside, you're gonna die.
Before the election, that the counting of those mail-in ballots in several states would not begin until late in the day and would not be complete for multiple days. This was expected, reported, and widely known. You will also hear testimony that President Trump rejected the advice of his campaign experts on election night.
I didn't watch it yet.
And instead followed the course recommended by an apparently inebriated Rudy Giuliani to just claim he won and insist that the vote counting stop, to falsely claim everything was fraudulent. He falsely told the American people that the election was not legitimate. In his words, quote, "a major fraud." Millions of Americans believed him. Second, pay attention to what Donald Trump and his legal team said repeatedly about Dominion voting machines. Far-flung conspiracies with a deceased Venezuelan communist allegedly pulling the strings. This was, quote, "complete nonsense," as Bill Barr said.
Are you serious,
President Trump's own campaign advisors, his Department of Justice, and his cybersecurity experts all told him the same thing. Here, for example, is White House lawyer Eric Hirschman. His view was shared by many of the Trump team whom we interviewed.
I thought the Dominion stuff was, I never saw any evidence whatsoever to sustain those allegations.
Former White House lawyer.
And third, as Mike Pence's staff started to get a sense.
And I'm going to say something, folks. So I've been told, because I'm supposed to go speak in front of this committee too, right? if you say that you were somewhere for 15 minutes, but you were really there for 16 minutes, they can arrest you. They can arrest you for lying to the committee, right? So just because you know something is true, but you can't prove it, if you say it and because you know it's true, but you can't prove it's true, you can go to jail. So of course these people are gonna not. Everybody they're interviewing are probably scared shitless of going to jail right now. That's my opinion.
For what Donald Trump had planned for January 6th. They called the campaign experts to give them a briefing on election fraud and all the other election claims.
If you want to tag somebody,
on January 2nd,
depends
the
on
General
what you.
Counsel of the Trump.
Hold on a second. All right, so to tag somebody, if you're on a phone, you got to hit the @ sign and then their whole entire name. If you're on a computer, you just hit the @ sign and you type in the first 2 or 3 letters and you should get it.
Campaign, Matthew Morgan, this is the campaign's chief lawyer, summarized what the campaign had concluded weeks earlier, that none of the arguments about fraud or anything else could actually change the outcome of the election.
Wait a minute, what did she just say? Wait, did I just
hear? Concluded weeks earlier that none of the arguments about fraud or anything else could actually change the outcome of the election.
So she said none of the allegations or anything else being the truth, cannot change the outcome. That's what they're saying, because they got the judges and I'm not going to go there.
Generally discussed on that topic was whether the fraud, maladministration, abuse, or irregularities, if aggregated and read most favorably to the campaign, would that be outcome determinative?
Oh, thank you, EFO. Thank you very much.
I think everyone's assessment in the room, at least amongst the staff, Mark Short, myself, and Greg Jacob, was that it was not sufficient.
Whoever's typing needs to take their fucking nails off.
As is obvious, this was before the attack on the Capitol. The Trump campaign legal team knew there was no legitimate argument, fraud, irregularities, or anything to overturn the election. And yet President Trump went ahead with his plans for January 6th anyway. Mr. Chairman, hundreds of our countrymen have faced criminal charges. Many are serving criminal sentences because they believed what Donald Trump said about the election, and they acted on it. They came to Washington, D.C. at his request. They marched on the Capitol at his request. And hundreds of them besieged. Okay,
hold on. I got it. So we've got a lovely person here that believes everything that they see on the news. Oh my gosh, everything is the truth. Politicians never lie, right? You know what? There's tons of stuff. You tell me this: when you watch that footage where they're in Philadelphia and they say, "All right, everybody, we're not going to count any more votes. We're all going home for the night. Everybody get out." And everybody leaves except a few people. And all of a sudden, they go under tables and they start taking boxes out and feeding them through the voting machines. You tell me that. You tell me that you believe that they weren't counting votes right then and there. You tell me that that was not some kind of weird, that something wasn't right there. You tell me that. Tell me, oh, that was perfectly normal. Tell me that. That didn't put doubt in your mind? You think that's normal? Everybody needs to get the F out. We're not going to count any votes anymore. And as soon as everybody gets out, except for a few select people, they start counting votes again? That never happened. That never happened. Well, shit. Let's show them the video. You're telling me this? It's on video. How can you say it never happened? How can you say it never happened? It's been debunked 20 times. By who? They're saying I have Georgia. Maybe I got mixed up with Georgia, but either... Yeah, it's Georgia. I'm sorry. I am sorry. It is Georgia. But you're telling me that never happened. I can't even type right now. Being counted after hours. Let's see if I can't even spell right today either. You're telling me that never happened. That's been debunked. That's never happened. Is that what you're trying to say? See if I can find the video. Then why is it on video? Why do we have it on video? You know who says, oh, that never happened was probably CNN. I can't even find it. Gosh darn it. I don't even know what to type to look it up now. I'm so tired. Yes, it literally never happened. All right, community, you're the stupidest person in the world then. If you really believe that never happened, watching that video, oh my gosh. Yeah, you just keep believing whatever they tell you. You know, have you ever heard of, why don't you use your own brain and think? It's funny how you heard this right. You even knew.
President Trump's team is tuned to hear.
Bolton was calling it.
So you're telling me that this didn't happen?
Counting ballots, but there is more to the story.
Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
Supporters of the president are calling it Suitcase Gate.
I'm gonna call it a suitcase.
But those are not suitcases. 11 Alive has confirmed they're the standard ballot containers used by Fulton County.
The video shows is that they have pulled out plastic bins from underneath the desks. Those are bins that they keep under their desks near the scanners.
They've investigated this repeatedly.
Yeah, you know who's investigated it? The damn liberals. You're telling me that watching that video, you don't think nothing suspicious happened there? Right? If Biden had won, you're telling me, and you saw that, you wouldn't go and blame the Republicans? I'm sorry. There was not monitors there from both parties. They kicked them out. They wouldn't let them in the room. So don't tell me that. And there's other places where they put up sheets of paper on the wall so you couldn't see what was going on behind in the voting areas. Oh my gosh, you just don't even know what the heck you're talking about. And I'm not going to waste my time with you anymore. We can watch this.
And invaded the building at the heart of our constitutional republic. As one conservative editorial board put it recently, quote,
oh, that video. Wait a minute.
Mr. Trump betrayed his
You're saying this video was spliced? This video was spliced by Rudy Giuliani. I'm a video editor. I don't see any spots in here where this is cut.
County. The video shows
there's no clips in here. There's nothing moved around on this video.
But those are not suitcases. 11 Alive has
everybody's gone. It's not cut. You're just an idiot. Like I said, I'm not going to give you any more time.
By conning them on January 6th, and he is still doing it.
Right, Sagittarius.
Another conservative editorial board that has long supported President Trump said last week, Donald Trump, quote, won't stop insisting that 2020 was stolen, even though he has offered no proof that that is true.
He doesn't have anything that's satisfying to you.
Donald Trump now, quote, clings to more fantastical theories, such as Dinesh D'Souza's debunked 2,000 mules, even as recounts in Arizona,
just because you say
Georgia,
it debunked doesn't
and
mean
Wisconsin
it's debunked.
Confirm Trump lost. Those are the correct conclusions to draw from the evidence gathered by this committee. We have much more evidence to show the American people on this point than we can.
I think it's funny that community's laughing at us when he's the one that's.
But today we will begin. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Without objection, the chair recognizes the gentlewoman from California, Ms. Lofgren, for an opening statement.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In our opening hearing, we gave an overview of our investigation into the January 6th attack. The plot to overthrow the election was complex and had many parts, which we'll explore in remaining hearings. But today, we examine the false narrative that the 2020 election was, quote, stolen. Former President Trump's plan to overturn the election relied on a sustained effort to deceive millions of Americans with knowingly false claims of election fraud. All elements of the plot
I'm gullible as
relied
you
on convincing his
well,
supporters
you can just keep laughing that way because I'm laughing at you because you're a freaking
Today,
idiot.
we'll demonstrate the 2020 election was not stolen. The American people elected President Joe Biden.
Hey, drunk, you can come in Discord. It's open.
That Mr. Trump's claims of election fraud were false, that he and his closest advisors knew those claims were false,
but
they continued to peddle them anyway, right up until the moments before a...
Hold on. Drunk, say something. Do I have my Discord messed up? Oh, you're muted. Yeah, I can't hear you. Did I mute you? You're muted, drunk. You got the little mute symbol. You gotta unmute yourself. You gotta unmute yourself, drunk. You gotta unmute yourself, buddy. You can't hear me? Oh my gosh, this is fun. Hold on, we gotta fix this.
I can't hear your voice.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Did I mute you? You're muted, drunk. You got the little mute symbol. How about now? Can you hear me now? You gotta unmute yourself. You gotta unmute yourself, drunk. Can you hear me now?
Good.
You gotta unmute yourself, buddy.
Better?
You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, oh gosh, there you go. Fun. Hold on, we gotta fix it. Alright, hold on. Let me put drunk up on the screen. Hey, we got a fun liberal person in here, drunk, for you.
No, we might have another one soon, too.
Oh, why? Are you sending liberals over to my show?
I don't know. Some guy just hit me up out of the blue and on my, like, personal channel and on my little boxing video and asking me what my address and number was. I was like, just come over to the channel. We'll talk.
Oh, nice. Don't you love it when people want to threaten you all the time?
Yeah, I guess he wants to box or something because it was on my boxing video. Who knows? Community
Feeding says, show me one shred of proof of conspiracy by the Democrats to... It's all over the place. I watched 2,000 Mules. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to do your fucking work for you anymore. Be a man or a woman, whatever you are, and just admit it. Open up your eyes and do your own research. That's the whole problem. You want to say, show me. Right? Well, if you did your own research, we wouldn't have to show you now, would we? Because you would see it. All right. Tell me if you can hear this, drunk.
A mob of Trump supporters attacked the Capitol.
Can you hear it?
Will also show that the Trump campaign used these false claims of election fraud to raise hundreds of millions of dollars from supporters who were told their donations were for the legal fight in the courts. But the Trump campaign didn't use the money for that. The big lie was also a big...
No, I didn't know. I thought it was supposed to be live on TV during why is my brain freezing right now? At night. I didn't realize they were doing it at 7 o'clock this morning, so we're replaying it because I didn't watch it. So we're watching it for the second time for some people.
Yeah, I got a primetime spot. You get them the views that they wanted. What? Oh, you're hungry now. Okay.
Yeah,
You've been paying attention to all the committee stuff, right?
For the most part, yeah.
If you could sum up what they've done so far in like 2 or 3 things, like what would you say they've been talking about the most? Because I haven't really been paying. Like I heard it when it first started, but I kind of tuned out. That it's just.
You're talking about this one from today?
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it yet. I'm watching it live. This is my first time watching it. I haven't watched this one yet. Sorry. That's why. I thought it was going to be on primetime TV, so I didn't expect it to be on. And then when I got a call from my radio station asking me to come in and do an interview, I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it was on today. So that's why we're watching it now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So after this, I can give you my my thoughts. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Rip-off. The former president laid the groundwork for these false claims well in advance of the election. As early as April 2020, Mr. Trump claimed that the only way he could lose an election would be as a result of fraud.
You know the things with bundling and all of the things that are happening with votes by mail, where thousands of votes are gathered, and I'm not going to say which party does it, but thousands of votes are gathered and they come in and they're dumped in a location, and then all of a sudden you lose elections that you think you're going to win.
The only way we're going to lose this election is if the election is rigged. Remember that. It's the only way we're going to lose this election.
This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen. Did you see what's going on? Take a look at West Virginia, mailmen selling the ballots. They're being sold. They're being dumped in rivers. This is a horrible thing for our country. This is not going to end well.
Hey, what's up, Wayne?
Mr. Trump decided even before the election that regardless of the facts and the truth, if he lost the election, he would claim it was rigged. Mr. Trump was right about one thing. It did not end well. On election night, Mr. Trump claimed even before the votes were counted that his loss was a result of fraud. Now, Thursday, we had testimony from Attorney General Barr about the Department of Justice investigation of Mr. Trump's fraud claims. Barr told Trump directly that his claims were BS. Yet, after hearing the truth and that warning from the AG, Mr. Trump continued to peddle the false claims of fraud. You'll hear detailed testimony from Attorney General Barr describing the various election fraud claims the Department of Justice investigated. He'll tell you how he told Mr. Trump repeatedly that there was no merit to those claims. Mr. Barr will tell us that Mr. Trump's election night claims of fraud were made without regard to the truth and before it was even possible to look for evidence of fraud. Attorney General Barr wasn't alone. You'll see and hear today other Department of Justice officials and senior advisors to Mr. Trump that they told him the claims he was making were not supported by evidence. The election fraud claims were false. Mr. Trump's closest advisor, Mr. Trump, knew it. That didn't stop him from pushing the false claims and urging his supporters to, quote, fight like hell, to, quote, take back their country. After he lost the election, various legal challenges were made. You'll hear testimony today from a renowned Republican election litigation lawyer who will explain the normal process by which candidates challenge an election. Rather than accept the results of the election and the decisions of the courts, Mr. Trump pursued a different strategy. He tried to convince the American people the election had been stolen. Many of his supporters believed him.
I just want to say thank you to the troll that keeps coming in under all these different names. I have monetization turned on, so you have to watch a commercial to come in here right now. So thank you. Thank you for the penny or two. They add up.
And many still believe him today. The attack on January 6th was a direct and predictable result of Mr. Trump's decision to use false claims of election fraud to overturn the election and to cling to power. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Elizabeth, or whatever her name is.
You think so?
Thank you
Somebody says she looks like Roz from
welcome our
Monsters.
first witness.
Yeah.
We're joined today by former Fox News politics editor Chris Steiwalter.
There you go.
Bill Stepien, President Trump's former campaign manager, was subpoenaed to be here and was in Washington this morning, prepared to testify. Kevin Marino, Mr. Stepien's attorney, is here with us today. Thank you, Mr. Marino, for coming. And he has advised us that Mr. Stepien's wife went into
you're
labor
getting
this
rude
morning.
now, troll.
Mr.
Wow.
Stepien unexpectedly.
Thank you for keep coming in
had
under
to
all these new
travel
names.
to
I
be
get a
with
penny
his
every time you
wife,
do.
And we wish him the best. Due to the depth and rigor of our investigation, we've several hours of Mr. Stepien's testimony.
How much you want to bet that the reason why that person's not there is because they told him to go fuck themselves like my attorney told him? I'll bet you money.
From when we interviewed him in February, and we will be presenting that testimony today.
No drinking game tonight.
I'll now swear in our witness. The witness will please stand and raise his right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth,
Curfew wants to, Guy Riser Harley wants to know if you'll run away with him, Curfew.
Thank you.
What am I, a pimp now?
You may be seated. Let the record reflect the witness answered in the affirmative. I now recognize myself for questions. I want to start by showing.
I'm done with you, community. I'm not gonna argue with somebody who all they want me to do. You want me to do all the work, show you the proof, and when I show you proof of a video, you say, "Oh, that video never happened. That video is fake." All right, who keeps rubbing the microphone? Who's getting all happy with it? Let's see. Hold on. Let me see who this is. Where's my Discord at? Dude, Ultimate, you can't do that, man. You're totally messing up the stream. You're like so loud. It's not even funny.
Really? I
Yeah.
just signed in, my bad.
Yeah, whatever you're doing. It's like, do you have an air conditioner hitting or a fan hitting it or something?
Stand by.
Yeah, just do like push to talk or something.
Yeah. That's what I would do. All right, let's let this idiot talk some more.
In November of 2020.
Do you remember where you were on the night of the election, November the 3rd?
I was at the White House.
You know where specifically over the course of that night you spent your time within the White House?
There was an event that was organized in the residence, so I moved between the residence, a room sort of off the residence where some family members were.
I take it the president was upstairs in the residence.
He was upstairs. We were kind of on the first floor, so not upstairs. We were with mostly with Ivanka and her brothers and a couple other people who'd be coming in and out.
Can you just describe the atmosphere? What were people expecting that night when you got to the White House?
I couldn't hear. Yeah, it's much better.
Feedback now. It's good.
Yeah, that's clear now. Yeah.
I think that there was typically for people who show up there on election night, it's gonna be a self-select.
Look at this idiot. He's in a room all by himself on a freaking Zoom call wearing a mask. Man, who else is in here now making noise? You guys are noisemakers.
Environment. I think people were a little bit nervous, not knowing what was going to happen with the red wave or the red mirage as the debate was being carried out.
This guy right here, it'll pop up in a second.
Arizona for Joe Biden. That is a big get for the Biden campaign.
Did you see
Arizona's called. Do you remember that?
Now you see it.
What do you remember happening where you were when Arizona was called?
There was surprise at the call.
Who was surprised?
All right, who's playing noises now?
Were you being?
All right, guys. If you guys are gonna play noises and stuff during the stream, please don't. I'm gonna shut it down. I let people come in here, but please don't be playing all kinds of noises, guys. It's Eddie show. It's Eddie and Drunk show.
It's Discord.
Oh, the Discord doing it? Okay. Sorry, but can you silence them somehow, Ultimate? Because you're messing it up, man.
Being one of them?
Yes.
Did that shift the atmosphere or the attitude?
Let's see if I can share this again.
In the White House?
Completely.
How so? Can you describe that?
Because Fox News was the first one to go out and say that.
So was it anger kind of directed towards Fox News for making a call more so than like disappointment that maybe the campaign lost Arizona?
All the above.
So both anger and disappointment.
Oh yeah, you can't silence me.
Both disappointed with Fox and concerned that maybe our data or our numbers weren't accurate.
Take off the mask, bro.
Were you in the White House residence during the sort of past midnight into the early morning hours of November 4th?
It didn't even work.
That's true.
Yeah, so sure. It went over beyond midnight, yes.
Do you remember Rudy Giuliani being at the White House on election night and into the early hours the next morning?
I do.
Well, I don't think we've gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there yet, have we?
Oh, okay.
No, we just started it.
He was, I had heard that he was upstairs, in that aforementioned reception area, and he was looking to talk to the president, and it was suggested instead that he come talk to several of us down off the map room.
You said that you had heard that Mr. Giuliani wanted to talk to the president, and then he was directed your way. Did you end up talking to Mr. Giuliani when he was directed your way?
I did.
What was that conversation?
A lot of conversations were directed my way. A few of us, myself, Jason Miller, Justin Clark, and Mark Meadows, gathered in a room off the map room to listen to whatever Rudy presumably wanted to say to the president.
Was there anyone in that conversation who, in your observation, had too much to drink?
Like Mayor Giuliani.
Tell me more about that. What was your observation?
How do you know? Were you there?
His potential intoxication during that discussion about what the president should say when he's addressed the nation.
And the mayor was definitely intoxicated, but I do not know his level of intoxication when he spoke with the president, for example.
Were you part of any discussions with the people I mentioned, Mr. Stepien, Mr. Meadows, or anyone else, about whether the president should make any sort of speech on election night?
So what?
I mean, I spoke to the president. They may have been present, but president spoke to the president several times that night.
There were suggestions by, I believe it was Mayor Giuliani, to go and declare victory and say that we won it outright.
It was far too early to be making any calls like that. Ballots were still being counted. Ballots were still going to be counted for days.
What? I'm going to shut this fucking troll down for once, all right? You know what? We showed you fucking proof. We showed you a video, and you said, that's not fucking true. One is right there in front of your eyes. So why should I show you more fucking proof if you're just going to fucking lie it all the fucking time? All right? So just shut the fuck up. I am not censoring you. But you know what? We're sick and tired of you. And you know what? I'm actually not censoring you because I let you keep coming back in. I'm just getting a penny from you every time you have to watch that fucking commercial before the show. Oops, damn it.
And it was far too early to be making any proclamation like that.
I remember saying that.
So enjoy your hot pocket.
To the best of my memory, I was saying that we should not go.
SDFU, mother.
All right, all right. We'll leave. Tell me if you're gonna talk a long talk so I can stop the thing because I really want to hear this. That's why I hate watching Steven Crowder during shit like this because the fuckers talk throughout the whole entire thing. I like to watch this stuff, and if I make a comment, it's a real quick comment. Otherwise, I pause the video. All right, guys. Not to be rude or nothing, guys, but you know.
No, you're good, dude.
I really want to hear this stuff. I don't want to talk.
In particular, what Mayor Giuliani said, your response, and then anybody else in the room's response.
I think effectively, Mayor Giuliani was saying, we won it. They're stealing it from us. Where'd all the votes come from? We need to go say that we won. And essentially that anyone who didn't agree with that position was being weak.
What was your view at the time as to what he should or shouldn't say?
I don't know that I had a firm view as to what he should say in that circumstance. The results were still being counted.
Have you guys noticed how they're going? They're like this. This is not. They keep going. They're editing this for you. This is nothing. None of this shit's live right here. What they're showing you guys. Like a minute ago, they were talking to Giuliani. Then they're talking to this other dude with the mask. Now they're talking to freaking Ivanka. It's all just spliced together for you guys.
I think they're pushing a narrative. Like they want it to be painted a certain way for the viewer, I think.
You think so? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you're saying that it's pre-recorded and stuff. Like there's got to be intent behind that. Like.
Yeah. Like why didn't they show us? Why didn't they show us all these hearings live? I would have loved to see all of these hearings live. Why couldn't we see them?
Well, you're paying tens of millions to the producer of ABC to produce this.
Oh, is that what it is? No, I didn't. Are they really?
Yes.
Wow.
With taxpayer money.
Of course. They have to because they're losing so much money because nobody wants to watch their shows anymore because they don't believe them.
Well, no, they're going to create a documentary out of this whole shindig.
You are right, though, Eddie. Like, nobody watches their stuff. Like, they'll put out a YouTube video and get buried.
Nobody trusts the media anymore. I mean, there's just too much, like, well, I shouldn't say nobody, because there's a person that keeps running into my channel all day long that keeps believing the media, but, you know.
Sounds like they just want your attention, man. I mean,
I know.
Feed the trolls, then they get fed.
Yeah, that's why we're, I'm not going to talk to him anymore.
Hey, can I say one thing, Eddie?
Go for it, drunk.
Well, it's a deleted message from the Edward person. It said, turns out votes for, no votes were counted illegal. Anyway, there was no suitcase under the table.
Is that what they said? There was no suitcase under the table?
Yeah, but I'm just going to make a little joke. This person must also believe in the Matrix. There is no spoon. There is no spoon.
No, you know what they are? They're a is it a psychology professor? What class is a psych class, right? Where you have to go in there and they're like, is this really a door? Is this really a mouse, or is there no mouse? Is there really a table here? What class was that? I can't even remember. I hated that class so much.
More theory, but yeah, it's like.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And you know how I passed the class just by bullshitting the guy. I just wrote long fucking papers for him, and he was happy and gave me an A.
It's sad how they require you to take those to get graduated, because if they were optional,
nobody would take
them.
No, I thought the guy. I mean, the guy was a nice guy overall, but I mean, the class just like, is this mouse really here? Well, I can touch the fucking thing, can't I? Right? Are you really here?
It's like, some people, they'll get a thought in their head, and even if people tell them they're wrong or you show them proof, they just dig in their heels. You know, some people, I don't know why they'll like put themselves in a position where they're always being challenged. Maybe it's they want attention. Maybe it's a cry for help. But you never know with people sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I can admit when I'm wrong, right? And yeah. I still right now I'm not gonna admit that I'm wrong. Now, if I have to, and when I go in front of this January 6th committee, am I gonna say something that you know is gonna get me thrown in jail? No, right? You know, because they hold all the narrative there. Everybody is scared. How many people they tried to arrest now for saying they lied to them or not showing up? So, I mean, think about if you were up there. Wouldn't you be worried about what you said is going to be held against you and, you know?
Oh, yeah. Deposition. Oh, yeah. That's their only intent.
Right? That's why, like, I was so worried. I paid this lawyer a lot of money, you know, and he's like, well, they haven't even subpoenaed you yet. Why are you worried? I'm like, they said I had to go. He's all, but did they subpoena you? And I'm like, I don't think so. He looked it up. He's like, they didn't subpoena you, so I told him to go fuck off. And I haven't heard from him since.
It reminds me a lot of the MacArthur trials. Like in the 50s, there was the whole Red Scare with communism, and a lot of people were getting subpoenaed and like being held for like stuff they would say that it's like a witch hunt.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a witch hunt. So I don't know who Jonathan is. I don't know if this person's asking me a question or not. But anyways, let's play this. Let's finish. We got another hour and a half of this BS.
It was becoming clear that the race would not be called on election night.
My belief, my recommendation was to say that votes were still being counted. It's too early to tell, too early to call the race. But, you know, we proud of the race we ran. And we, you know, think we're in good position, and we'll have more to say about this, you know, the next day, whenever we had something to say.
And did anybody who was a part of that conversation disagree with your message?
Yes.
Who was that?
The president disagreed with that. I don't recall the particular words. He thought I was wrong. He told me so. And, you know, that they were going to, you know, go in a, you know, he was going to.
What's wrong with him thinking he won the race?
This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
Hey, look, there's my friend Errol Weber. Right there on the screen. Hey, oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. I thought about Arrow. But I mean, who really thinks nowadays that many people voted for crazy Joe Biden?
Hell no, he couldn't fill up a drive-through.
Right.
At a rally.
That's why they were pushing the mail-in ballots. I mean, it was a long plan for, you know. I don't know who was it that said this. Somebody said this. The Democrats are in there for the long run. This is not something they just put together over a month or two. This has been in plan for years, if not multiple decades. You know,
never let a good crisis.
Yeah.
Mr. Steiwalt, did President Trump have any basis to declare victory on November 4th, 2020? Thank you.
So there's a new
Mr.
person
Stepien also testified that President Trump had no basis for declaring victory
I got a lot of
at that point in time.
My belief, my recommendation was to say that votes were still being counted. It's too early to tell. Too early to call the race, but you know, we proud of the race we ran, and we, you know, think we're in good position, and we'll have more to say about this, you know, the next day or the next day, whenever.
Now, did you guys just see what I saw? The guy, the bald-headed guy in the front, that's obviously his lawyer. You know, this guy has a lawyer. He's being told what to and what not to say so he doesn't get arrested by this lawyer. You know, the lawyer kind of just gave him like an like you can say that. So just little things like
process 03. I now recognize the gentlewoman from California, Ms. Lofgren, for questions.
Not this lady again.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Steiwalt, I'd like you to explain a term that was thrown around a lot during the election, and that's the so-called red mirage. What does that mean?
So,
I never even heard that.
40 or 50 years, let's say, that Americans have increasingly chosen to vote by mail or early or absentee, Democrats prefer that method of voting more than Republicans do. So basically, in every election, Republicans win election day and Democrats win the early vote. And then you wait and start counting, and it depends on which ones you count first, but usually it's election day votes that get counted first. And you see the Republicans shoot ahead, and then the process of bailing and binding and unbinding all those mail-in votes in some states like Pennsylvania.
All right, this is, hold on a second, guys. I gotta block somebody. I don't know if you guys can block these fucking people. Comments like what this person's making needs to be fucking blocked right here and now. Oh, somebody did. They deleted their message. But I can actually, can't I block this person completely? We can hide you on our channel. There you go. Goodbye. See you later.
Pennsylvania refused to count the votes first.
You're not going to come in here as Ashley Babbitt and say I got killed.
So in every election, certainly a national election, you expect to see the Republican with a lead, but it's not really a lead.
Yeah, and I know it is.
When you put together a jigsaw puzzle, it doesn't matter which piece you put in first. It ends up with the same image. So for us, who cares? But that's because no candidate had ever tried to avail themselves of this quirk in the election counting system. We had gone to pains, and I'm proud of the pains we went to make sure that we were informing viewers that this was going to happen, because the Trump campaign and the president had made it clear that they were going to try to exploit this anomaly. And we knew it was going to be bigger because the percentage of early votes was higher.
Isn't that exactly what
45%
Ms. Clinton did in 2016?
To because of the pandemic, that increased by about 50%. So we knew it would be longer, we knew it would be more. So we wanted to keep telling viewers, hey, look, the number that you see here is sort of irrelevant because it's only a small percentage of these votes.
So this red mirage, that's really what you expected to happen on election night.
Happens every time.
Thank you, Mr.
And why
Steiwalt.
is that?
Now, I'd like to play a clip of Attorney General Bill Barr, who also explains...
So I got to say, too, you know, there's certain things I can't say on here. I will get kicked off of my YouTube channel if I say certain things. And we'll be kicked off for 2 weeks. Right? So we can't even respond to any of this stuff because we'll get kicked off. What's up, Trey for Trump? That's the same thing that happens when you go to the hearing. Just like I'm afraid to say something right now on YouTube, when I go to this hearing, I'm going to be afraid to say certain things when I go there. Because, I might get arrested for what I say.
What was expected to happen on election night?
Right out of the box on election night, the president the vote counts in certain states, and that seemed to be the basis for this broad claim that there was.
Here, you want to see a whole bunch of? Oh wait, damn it, I moved it. You guys want to see a whole bunch of votes coming in late at night?
President to separate fact.
I'll show you the video again.
Confirm they've had
from underneath the table.
Supporters of the president are calling it suitcase gate.
This is where the votes came from. We all know it.
Major fraud. And I didn't think much of that because people had been talking for weeks and everyone understood for weeks that that was going to be what happened on election night.
Donnie was born November 2nd or November 3rd.
Mr. Stepien obviously could not be with us today, and it's proper for him to be with his wife as they welcome their child. But he also had discussions with the president about the Red Mirage. That is, that it would be a long night and that early votes would favor him, but that lots more votes would be counted over the course of the night and the days after. So let's play clip 1 from our interview with Mr. Stepien.
I recounted back to that conversation with him, in which I said, just like I said in 2016 was going to be a long night. I told him in 2020 that it was going to be a process again, as the early returns are going to be positive, and we're going to be watching the returns of ballots as they rolled in thereafter.
So is it fair to say you're trying to present what you thought would be a realistic picture of what might happen over the course of that night, being election night?
That night and the days that followed. Yeah, I always told the president the truth, and I think he expected that from me, and I told him it was going to be a process. It was going to be, we're going to have to wait and see.
So you see his lawyer saying yeah, shaking his head yeah?
So I just like I did in 2016, I did the same thing in 2020.
So let's watch a short clip of
And if you notice, right
Trump
there, he looked down
speaking.
too. His lawyers probably got little note cards in front of him saying, this is what you're saying, this is what you're saying, this is what you're saying, just to protect his client.
You mean like with talking points?
Yeah. That's why I was told don't go there without a lawyer, and I got one of the best lawyers you can get, frickin' Norm Pattis. So I'm not worried when I have to go up there. He's gonna be taking care of me. But it's the whole point. Just like with YouTube, you have to be worried what you're gonna say. You don't know what they're gonna try and arrest you for, give you a strike for. It's disgusting.
After he received that information from his campaign advisors.
We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list.
So when former President Trump said that, it contradicted what his advisors had warned would happen. We all know that mail-in ballots played an important role in the 2020 election. However, President Trump continuously discouraged mail-in voting. Mr. Stepien was so concerned about the president's position on mail-in voting that in the summer of 2020, he met with President Trump along with House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Let's play clip 4.
Why don't you have these people here live?
That was had, in particular, I invited Kevin McCarthy to join the meeting. He like-minded on the issue with me, in which we made our case for why we believed mail-in voting not to be a bad thing for his campaign.
We're going to make a lot of ad revenue tonight, guys.
But, the president's mind was made up, and you understand,
Hi, Elaine.
How many times to, go to the well on a particular topic.
Yeah, I understand. Tell me a little bit more about the argument that you and Mr. McCarthy made to the president in that meeting as to why it wasn't a bad thing that mail-in voting was available.
Largely two pillars to that argument, both of which I've previously mentioned. One, leaving a good deal to chance, pushing or urging your voters to
lawyer
vote
just gave
only on
another
election
cue.
day leaves a lot to chance. That's A. And B, also previously mentioned, the fact that the Trump campaign, Republican National Committee, the Republican Party had an advantage of grassroots workers and volunteers on the ground that would allow, an advantage to enhance return rates of ballots that were mailed. Those were the two pillars of the argument.
I see. And what, if anything, do you recall Representative McCarthy saying during that meeting?
We were echoing the same argument. I mean, his words echoed mine, and vice versa on those two topics.
Mr. Stirewalt, you were at the decision desk at Fox News on election night, and you called Arizona early for President Biden, which was controversial. How did you make that call, and where did you think the race stood in the early hours of the next day?
Well, it was really controversial to our competitors who we beat so badly by making the correct call first. Our decision desk was the best in the business, and I was very proud to be a part of it. Because we had partnered with the Associated Press and the National Opinion Research Center at the University of Chicago, thanks to my colleague and friend Arnon Mishkin, had built a wonderful device for forecasting the outcomes of elections. So we had a different set of data than our competitors did. We had more research.
You know, I just realized, did you guys know that all this guy is just some guy that works for Fox? This is not an election expert. This is not anybody who's an expert on anything. He just works for Fox. Lovely.
A better system, and we had a great team. So what you're waiting to see is, do the actual votes match up with the expectations in the poll? The real votes are testing the quality of your poll in targeted precincts and in targeted places. And let me tell you, our poll in Arizona was beautiful. And it was doing just what we wanted it to do, and it was cooking up just right. And at some point, and I forget exactly who, but at some point it became clear that Arizona was getting ready to make a call. So we, my boss, Bill Salmon, said we're not making any call until everybody says yes, because that was always our policy, unanimity. And you have to understand, in this room, you have, the best people from academia, Democrats, Republicans, a broad cross-section of people who had worked together for a decade, who were really serious about this stuff. So we knew it would be a consequential call because it was one of 5 states that really mattered, right? Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona were the ones that we were watching. We knew it would be significant to call any one of those 5, but we already knew Trump's chances were very small and getting smaller based on what we had seen. So
getting rid of.
Drunk, they're just getting rid of this person because they're a troll and they just keep coming in. So it's all right. You know what? They can get rid of them.
Everybody else.
Huh?
I'm just saying they don't know if there was like voter fraud, but there was a bunch of fishy shit that was happening to say that you can outright deny that there wasn't any voter fraud. That's all I'm saying. I didn't think that was an out-of-line comment.
I think what happened is they got blocked right as they were writing that comment, and it got put up for a quick second. I think that's what happened. So, no, it's just some troll that keeps coming in. We're not gonna give the troll any attention, but we'll keep letting them come back in because every time they do, they got to watch my commercial.
So we were able to make the call early. We were able
from the troll.
The only people I see with their message being deleted. Oh, maybe they deleted it themselves. Are you talking from Octavius?
Yes.
It doesn't say who deleted it, so I don't know if they deleted it themselves or not.
No, I wouldn't have clicked on it if they deleted it themselves.
Oh, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Able to beat the competition. We looked around the room, everybody says yay, and on we go. And by the time we found out how much everybody was freaking out and losing their minds over this call, we were already trying to call the next state. We had already moved on. We were to Georgia, we were to North Carolina, we were looking at these other states. So we thought we were pleased, but not surprised.
I see. You know, after the election, as of November 7th, in your judgment, what were the chances of President Trump winning the election?
After that point?
Yes.
None. It's always possible that you could have a truckload of ballots be found somewhere, I suppose. But once you get into this space, ahead of today, I thought about what are the largest margins that could ever be overturned by a recount, and the normal kind of stuff that we heard Mike Pence talking about, sounding like a normal Republican that night when he said, we'll keep every challenge. Nothing like that. In a recount, you're talking about hundreds of votes. When we think about calling a race, one of the things that we would think about is it outside the margin of a recount? And when we think about that margin, we think about, in modern history, you're talking about 1,000 votes, 1,500 votes at the way, way outside. Normally, you're talking about hundreds of votes, maybe 300 votes that are going to change. So the idea that through any normal process in any of these states, remember, he had to do it thrice, right? He needed 3 of these states to change.
Who uses the word thrice
anymore? In order
anymore?
to do that, I mean, you're at an infant. You're better off to play the Powerball than to have that come in.
On November 7th, the other major news outlets called the race for President Biden. Now, Mr. Stepien told the committee that he thought the odds were, and this is a quote, very, very, very bleak, and held a meeting with the president that same day. Let's show clip 8, video clip 8.
I mean, with each day that wore on, I mean, the trajectory of the race on election night, Trump ahead in many states, and as that week wore on, as the third became the...
You guys notice something here? Once again, we're talking editing here. Earlier, this guy was live talking. They showed him moving. They showed his voice moving, right? Now they're just showing a picture with his voice. Doesn't that seem a little strange to you?
Fourth became the fifth, and so on and so forth. And the vote by mail ballots were tabulated. Trump's, as we paid attention to those numbers multiple times a day, internally, I was feeling less confident for sure.
What was your view on the state of the election at that point?
Very, very, very bleak. We told him, the group that went over there outlined, my belief in chances for success at this point, and then we pegged it at 5, maybe 10% based on recounts that either were automatically initiated or could be initiated based on realistic legal challenges, not all the legal challenges that eventually were pursued. But it was my belief is that it was very, very 5 to 10%. It's not a very good optimistic outlook.
Octavius, you
now,
can't.
As President Trump and others continued to claim that the election was stolen, there were lawyers who were a part of the campaign lawyers, who were responsible for investigating the fraud claims. That includes Alex Cannon, who could not validate the claims that were being made, including those being made by the president.
Just because you can't validate something doesn't mean it didn't happen.
15. 13.
This is an email. It's 2 emails, actually. The first is from Alex Cannon to you and Faith McPherson.
All right, I got a drink.
And then you forward that email on to Mark Meadows, Justin Clark, and Jason Miller, the subject being AZ Federal ID Voters. If you look at the original email there, it says, Bill, we completed the AZ analysis you requested. I assume that's about Arizona. And because of the substantial uncertainty surrounding the databases, this is a highly unreliable way to identify ineligible voters. Can you explain the task that you gave to Ms. Cannon for this Arizona analysis?
Sure. Previously, I described some of my frustration with some of the claims that people would throw at President Trump regarding, need to look at this, this happened in this state or that happened in that state. And it would be, those would flow to us to look into. I talked about that before, I think.
Yep.
This is an example of that. I recall in Arizona, someone had thrown out, I believe this to be the claim, that there were thousands of illegal citizens, people not eligible to vote, having cast their ballots in Arizona. Someone had thrown out that claim to President Trump. And with, you know, the margins being as close as they were, as I previously described, you know, that could potentially matter. So this wild claim is thrown out, which, you know, on its face didn't seem, you know, realistic or possible to me. I asked Alex to look at the, you know, the claim, and I haven't read this full email, but I recall the response to that. The reality of that was not illegal citizens voting in the election. I think it was like overseas voters voting in the election. So obviously, you know, people who were eligible to vote.
Where did that come from?
When these findings were passed up the chain to President Trump, he became frustrated and he replaced the campaign's legal team. Let's play clip 14.
You know, I think the president, it was during the second week where things like you displayed were occurring, where he was, you know, growing increasingly unhappy with, you know, his team, you know, me, less so because I was less involved at this point, but still me, growing increasingly unhappy with Justin Clark, and that kind of, you know, paved the way for, you know, Justin to be moved out and Mayor Giuliani to be moved in as the person in charge of, you know, the legal side of the campaign, and for all intents and purposes, the campaign at that point.
All right, I'm going to answer Octavius because Octavius is always here in the channel. Octavius, what you said, there was the huge chunks of votes, the suitcases, and other stuff being dropped off in the wee hours. What other instances do I see of that F word that you're saying? Well, let's see. How many people got 2 voter ballots, or who got 3 ballots, 4 ballots? Or then you have where they've shown where somebody voted from a certain business or a certain address, and you go to that address, and there's not even a building there.
And the sneaking of flash drives, like,
right,
to the higher ups, so that, like, why, you know, do that?
Oh yeah. But, also, what was the other one? Drunk, where they asked for they want something off of a hard drive, and oh, you know what? That hard drive was deleted. We're sorry.
I think that building was blown up in Nashville.
I don't know which one that they said.
Yeah, I think it was like on Christmas Day. Supposedly those machines in there, but I mean, that's my biggest thing is the machines.
Yeah.
Like, they can be hacked, and everything runs through an Ethernet cord. And they're like, they were not hooked to the internet. I was like, I seen an Ethernet cord coming out. However, I do know Ethernet runs more than just data now. I mean, it can run video.
Yeah.
The possibility there.
It can run power
it has
too.
An IP, so it's connected to the internet, meaning it can be accessed by anyone to the internet.
Yeah.
Connected to the internet.
Then let's see what else they're saying. Yeah, if you want to learn, like, so if there's a video out there, well, there was a video. Steven Crowder made a video of them going to people's houses, where it says they voted from this house, and they showed the address, and it was just dirt. That video was taken down on YouTube for false information.
Wow. Or a bridge or an address that never existed.
Yeah.
Fucking gravestone.
Like, you want to talk about really bad? I had somebody on this show. They had a package with a mask in there, not opened up, and all they did was read the exact words on the package, which I can't even tell you. And I was banned for 2 weeks from YouTube because they read what's actually on the package of that mask, and I got banned for medical misinformation. So that's how YouTube works. That's how everybody works around here.
Mr. Stepp,
I don't think anything could be completely secure since at least when the internet was involved. I mean, at least. I'm sure some stuff happened even before that, but I haven't trusted elections fully in a long time.
anytime a person is involved, there's always some way of doing something wrong. You know, you're tallying up the ballots, and you know, in your head you make a mistake, you add a couple, or do it on purpose, or you take a piece of paper and all of a sudden it's gone. You know, there's always a way to do something. Look at inmates. Inmates are always finding new ways to get in trouble or to get drugs in, because all they do is sit there all day long and think about new ways to freaking do it.
But hackers write a program and let it work. I
There-
used to
yeah.
be a hacker.
Well,
My
there-
hacking was easy in the 90s. It was stupid easy.
There's another thing right there. Look at it. How many, you know, if think about it, you get your anti-hacking program, whatever. I don't even have one anymore. What were they called? Like Norton, Norton, right? Every day you'd have
They're
to
already in front of that.
right. Every day you'd have to download a new Norton because they figured out a way to beat Norton. So every day you got to download a new Norton.
Who do you think writes the code? They're called ethical hackers. But unethical hackers are on the same level. They're just like, all right, I see what you done.
Right.
Do you mind if I ask you something? Nick?
Yeah, we're paused right now, so go ahead.
So, what's something that could be done to like fix this in the future to like ensure the integrity of the election?
I'll be honest. I don't think there's any way to ensure it. To say something's 100% perfect, that can never happen.
I got a solution.
What's that, drunk uncle?
That everybody can view a copy of their ballot after they submit it online. Everybody's got a freaking phone. And you get exactly what is processed through that machine.
That might help.
Because
well, you know,
like, but at least not in my state. Like, I can pull the times that I voted and what party that I was registered to, but I cannot pull like what my ballot was submitted as. Like, after it's submitted, a digital output of everything that you voted for, that and a unique UPC code for every registered voter. That way.
It's on another screen, so you guys
I
can
could
see
be
this.
wrong on that. I don't know. I'm just.
You want to know the safest way? I'll tell you what. You get every single American in the country. When they walk in the door, that's neat. You can't even be sure if they're real or not, and you can't get them all in one place. But you have the people that vote for Biden on this side, the people that vote for Trump on this side, and then you could look and see. You know, that's the only real way, right? That way you're not getting multiple ballots and people are live voting and.
Well, what about?
I had to chime in on this question.
Go for it.
A good start would be voter ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even when I was a big Democrat, I never understood that, because for me in my little town, when I go to vote, they just got a big book. You know, you walk up to it, and you know you're in the lines for that, and I can just say my last name, whatever it is.
You know what's funny is I've got a voter ID card and I've never been asked for it.
Yeah,
really?
Where I live, I have to have my driver's license and my voter ID card, otherwise I can't vote.
Well,
really?
Good.
They don't. Not most states.
They open up this book and it's nothing but a bunch of stickers.
Yep.
So they put a sticker on a ballot that they rip off. However, I can easily look down and see everything that's on that page that they pull up. So I just say a last name, and then I can look down and see the sticker and say, yeah, I'm Joseph, and I live at, and just read the address right up, because half the time I point to the sticker for them. I'm like, I'm right there.
Right.
You know, out of all the things that we're able to do now, why are we not able to go and verify our vote was counted and who we voted for?
That's what I was saying first.
They don't want you to know.
Readout.
Another thing that they could do is if they had open source video of the things behind the scenes, where like ballots are put in boxes or suitcases, whatever it is, where they're being loaded onto trucks, like live cams of the trucks while they're traveling, like them being taken to the places where they're being counted, like the whole process of, you know, you turn your vote in what happens next. And if it was,
it's supposed to be blocked. It's supposed to be logged. All of that transportation and changing, bringing it in and out is supposed to be logged.
Well, I'm talking where all of it is live streamed, and that anyone at any time is able to watch and observe the feed, and then you have like a hotline or something like that, where if you see something that looks suspicious, and you can like clip it and do that kind of stuff and try to identify perpetrators that are doing that. Like, I think that might be a step in the right direction, maybe.
Yeah, but look at where they...
For sure.
Go ahead, Grom.
Republicans, I guarantee, Eddie, I guarantee you're not going to put us out behind a glass window and put cardboard up on the window. That's not going to happen this time. You know, if we're not in there standing right beside them, just like the Democrats are on one side and the Republicans on the other side, watching all of this stuff being processed, it's not going to happen. That's the simplest thing you can do is go volunteer to stand there and watch that process happen.
But they'll kick you out. They kicked out volunteers all over the country, saying, "Oh, we have too many people in there because of COVID," or.
Yeah, because they used COVID for that. They used COVID to extend the vote from 1 day to 5 weeks. What was it? 5 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Monkeypox will make the resurgence in the midterms. Weird how they just all of a sudden stopped talking about that monkeypox thing.
Right? Yeah, there's no more monkeypox, right?
Doesn't seem like.
I think a way to like look on your phone to check your vote would be really good. I think some kind of like video transparency that, you know, people can log into it and like look for instances of it would be good. I mean, at least those are possible solutions, you know.
Yeah. Or this might, I just come up with this. Either by preferably done at the address that you're registered to, but a confirmation of your ballot that you get like a couple of days. Well, then that would push the voting. But just say you went and voted, and a couple of days later, and they process it, put the stamp on it, blah 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 blah. Or I don't even know if you could trust that, but like a confirmation type thing that yep, this is who I voted for. But there's going to be loopholes in everything.
Yeah.
As long as people are crooked.
There's always a way to
do it. For you then, Drunk Uncle.
Okay.
Would you give up the privacy of your vote in exchange for a guarantee that, you know, you would know exactly what it was, that, you know, everybody, their names would be associated with their votes, that the whole process would be publicly recorded and be able to be cited if needed, that way people could actually look in and see the people voting for how they're like, would giving up that level of privacy for who you're voting for, would it be worth the security of like a guaranteed legitimate election? Like, do you think that would be a fair trade?
No, I can answer that for Trump. Absolutely not.
Well, I mean, you know, I always have to put in stipulations. So you're saying that everybody can see everybody's vote?
Everybody can see everybody's.
No, that's the first step of tyranny. You don't give up any privacy for any fucking thing, period.
No, but I was asking, like, what Drunk Uncle thought about it. Like, in his mind, would that be worth it?
In that scenario with a public database, I think that would be left open to people getting harassed, killed, whatever. However, what I would support is that I could put in like my social, or you know, same things that I would need to verify who I am to do my taxes or whatever.
I'll tell you what I would support, Drunk. I would support them giving us the option to make our vote public.
Yeah.
Do the right to have that choice.
I can agree with that. Yeah. I was just posing it because there's always like, you know, people give up permanent freedoms for temporary security, and you know, even Benjamin Franklin knew that that's a losing proposition. So I was just curious your thoughts about it.
Oh, it's got to
totally get that. That would resolve the issue of you being able to verify that your vote was counted and tallied for who you voted for.
Yeah.
Or just as simple as a unique UPC code. And you don't even have, we're just a number, and I know that's very 1984ish that we turn into just a number, but you got your number, type it in.
You mean like you log in and check your bank balance kind of thing? You like log in, you have the QR code, and then it's like, oh, here's your vote, type of thing.
Like a voter ID card, like that.
Well, here's the problem with that. I don't think a lot of people would actually go and check it. So what I would say is, how about this? Your vote doesn't count until you go back in there and do that second verification, saying, yes, that's my vote. That's how I voted. Thank you.
I think that's another great possible solution, because talking about these kind of things with solutions for the problem, I think that's a really healthy conversation that it's important that people need to have, because it's very frustrating and like powerless feeling that your vote matters. It's the lowest it's ever mattered. And talking about solutions and trying to raise awareness about that, that everybody knows there's problems with it, that I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, just look at it. The average amount of, let's look it up real quick. We had more voters turn out than ever for this time before.
Oh.
How is that? I mean, is that possible? I mean,
that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That never happened. That's bullshit.
Well, Grog, can I explain to you why I think that it's not necessarily bullshit?
Okay.
So to vote in most times, like if you were to do it absentee, you have to be off to college. Like I checked mine. I had two votes that were absentee ballots. Military, things like that. So mail-in ballots weren't.
They don't give you much
common.
information.
And you got to remember that a majority of motherfuckers are lazy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they forget all about that it's election day, and they get home, they turn on the TV, and the news is on. Like, oh shit, it's election day. What? Oh shit.
Right.
But when it's as easy as something that comes in the mail, and you just get out of the way. Yep. Democrat, or red. All the lazy people that don't even know what the fuck is going on. They get to be lazy and uninformed and vote at the same time.
Did you know now that to do a mail-in ballot, it has to be witnessed by someone when you sign it? You have to have someone witness it also that is a registered voter.
They could always just use decentralization. Anybody with a cell phone with a fingerprint scanner can just scan their own fingerprint.
I tell you what, man, it's not a good idea. We're going down a really scary road. Don't start using that fingerprint. The next thing they're going to want your iris. They're going to want your eyeball. Don't even go there.
I concur with.
I think you should lick your ballot, because then everything could be, taken down by DNA. Lick it.
To change the subject, you lick it.
Well,
fucking Grog.
No, you lick it where I stick it.
What's up, Goofy?
So let's talk there. I'm
no.
sorry.
The direction all this is going is very interesting, because with social media becoming more prevalent, with the fact of the number of cameras that get permanent logs of your face, with credit card companies selling your information for buying habits on ads on Google, that we're kind of moving into this information age, that doing something like a fingerprint scan, it seems to be in keeping with the way that social media and interconnectivity is going, but it's also can be very, very dangerous and weaponized, where there's databases and they start black bagging people hypothetically type of thing.
We crossed that threshold years and years ago.
Yeah, I think Grog's right.
I think it's guys are still trying to figure out what women are trying to say, and they're trying to get in.
Well, that's obvious. We don't know. Guys know nothing about women.
I'm sorry, Goofy. What'd you say?
Goofy is saying that's like guys are still trying to figure out women, which is true. We'll never figure out you women.
Eddie, I was kidding. That one went over your head.
It did. It went. Oh, I got it.
Well, but that's only because he's sitting down. It's It's okay. It's not because he's
And I'm short. And I'm short.
Sitting down.
No, I didn't say that.
No, but I honestly.
You're never going to make it to the end of the show tonight. You know that, don't you?
I don't think so, yeah.
Long story short, everything they said today, you have already heard.
Have we? Okay.
That helps. Yeah.
I think so far the best option I've heard is mine. You know, you got to go in and you vote, and then you can go online and you have to confirm that is your vote. You know, have a two-step process.
Right. Exactly.
How are we supposed to go online and confirm our vote?
Well, have the option to do that if you want to. If you want to keep your privacy, you give us
Goofy,
the option to keep our privacy and not be able to do that.
Goofy, are you not online right now, Goofy? Are you not watching the show online right now? That's how you go and you confirm your vote.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, yeah. Because I was trying to watch that lame-ass fucking shit going on today.
Right.
And I was like, my eyes were on the back of my head, and I was like, oh, look, Eddie's online. I'm going to come over here and hang out with some beautiful people.
There you go.
That's why I'm here.
No, but
So I'll pull up your live. My bad.
Oh, she didn't even know we were live? Oh.
That's even better.
By the way, you're live too. Yes, you are.
Say lick it, but real slow and sexy one time.
There you go.
You got to lick it before you stick it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I'm at the point where I'm done watching this shit show. Let's see.
Yeah, I got a feeling there was something really great on today. Was Marjorie Taylor Greene was on RSBN for like an hour and a half. Sitting there talking with that guy in her studio. It was fucking great. But I'm sure they took it down because they were talking about everything that we can't talk about on Facebook. So
Facebook, YouTube, everything else.
Yeah, she's
YouTube.
good.
I mean YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
It was great.
I don't know. I don't think there is Yeah, go for it.
I have a question for you, Eddie.
Go for it.
Once all of the shenanigans are done and the clowns have put their pom-poms away and the makeup and all of this committee thing is done, what do you think the end result is going to be? That there was the months and months and years and years and then it just popped and it went away kind of thing?
Yeah, because they found out, oh shit, Hillary was doing some bad stuff.
Because there was billions wasted on that, and they're just all this thing, all those people, they're getting paid, they're paying people, they're looking into it, news is covering it, there's all this stuff, and lots of money is moving around, but nothing's going to happen.
No. Like, look at Black Lives Matter. They're talking about Black Lives Matter made all that money, and she paid her husband $1 million to make a website or whatever. They paid her freaking brother $1 million to be security.
We're paying for what's on TV right now with them every day.
Of course. Of course we are. All those aides aren't on salary. They're hourly wages. They're getting paid hourly wages to be there. You know, from the people, the cops at the door protecting those idiots, you know? Everybody's getting paid.
Yeah, all those idiots. Yeah, in Congress, they're getting paid.
Yeah, well, they get a salary. But they're getting money off the, you know, it's all a setup, guys. It's just the way it is. Like Planned Parenthood is not supposed to donate money because they're a nonprofit, right? Who do you think gives the most of the money to the Democrats? Who do you think they get most of their money from? The Democrats.
Well, shouldn't they be putting their money towards like more abortions? Because if they give this money to Democrats, like, can you think just how many babies could be murdered in the meantime? Like, I can't believe, like, all these people aren't up in arms. And what pisses me off, these motherfuckers, these Democrats, they're like, oh, gun laws, oh, the children, Really? Wait a minute. Y'all, like, want to kill people, like, before they're even fucking born. It's just, like, so hilarious.
I have got to say something.
Go for it.
Babies. I've got to say something. All of this shit is squirrels. It's all shiny fucking key rings that they're dangling in front of us while they're overthrowing our country.
What else are they doing? Exactly.
We're losing our country. In the meantime, we're worried about if they're going to ban any more cartoon books or the books in the school. And don't get me wrong, we got to go stop them from doing all that. But this is all fucking shiny key rings. This is all squirrels outside the window. In the meantime, these motherfuckers are taking over our country, and we're going to be a socialist country. We're going to be another shithole.
American public. That's exactly what they're fucking doing. They're making these things hot potatoes and then throwing them out. The American people. So we,
let her finish.
me and you can fight amongst one another. And
we should be
they
fighting.
do their fucking bullshit behind the scenes. That's exactly what they're doing.
Oh, they are.
That's why you hear so many insane things that they're doing. They spent $750,000 to study whether or not Japanese penguins got hornier after doing cocaine.
Were you trying to say, Eddie?
I forgot already. I was just saying. I forgot. Sorry. I have a bad memory.
Bad, dude.
I have a bad memory.
He brought up penguins and cocaine.
Yeah.
Which is why they live up there in the white stuff, because they think it's cocaine.
Oh, is that why they live up there?
Yeah, I mean, as a matter of fact, I heard that Hunter Biden is going to move to Alaska.
No.
He thinks it's plentiful.
He's moving to Wisconsin so he can get some more Parmesan cheese. The Parmesan cheese was cheaper. Yeah.
I'm moving in with AOC.
Are ya?
Girl's got, she's got it going on.
Well, she's got a boyfriend, and I think
not anymore. His feet's not big enough. I got big feet.
No, I think they just announced that they're engaged.
Yeah, they're engaged. I think. I don't know.
Because now she's, so since she's gone from being a, going through college and being a bartender, and then of course, now she's got like tons of money.
Hold on, Grot. Let me show you the video again. Hold on. Let's see where.
Personally, is spending $750 million on studying whether or not Chinese penguins get horny when they do cocaine.
Here you go. Here you go, Gra. Look at the video.
$1 million.
Well, where do they get their cocaine? Now, here's the thing. Because we want to make sure. I mean, did it come from Mexico, or was it like... No, I mean, as long as it was like cocaine from America, then I guess it's okay. We want to make sure that we buy,
that would have cost a lot more than that. That Japanese cocaine's pretty cheap, so I hear.
There's only two good things about AOC, and it's right above there, and it's right below there. So in between this little area,
I think she's fugly though.
No, she got a nice rack though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but that's like saying that hey, that turd's got some corn in it. Like I still think she's fugly.
It's like trying to figure out which end is the. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Trying to pick up the clean end of a turd.
Right? Oh, I guess I don't gotta share this video anymore, do I? We're not watching any more videos.
Yeah, that's a good one, girl. I'm trying to clean up try to pick up the clean end of the turd. Yep.
It is what it is. Let's see if we can make me.
You gotta admire a girl that can eat an apple through a chain link fence.
That's for sure.
I'm more concerned about the people who vote for her.
They're just like her. They're all her drinking buddies who she used to get big tips from at the bar.
It's a slave mindset, kind of like a cult, where she's saying certain keywords, and she says that the other people are the enemies and that they're the victimizers, and I'm your champion. And then they buy it hook, line, and sinker because they live in a friggin' bubble. And she gets elected, gets reelected over and over because of those talking points.
It's not just that.
She's only elected once, right?
Twice. She's won twice now. She's on her third. She's on her second term.
She got primary. Yeah. No.
She's on her second term. She's going for her third.
Really? I thought she was still on first, but I mean, at first she had kind of like a a glow about her, and like, oh, we got new blood coming, and this is when I was a Democrat. We got new blood coming in. It's not the old people. Talks like us, blah 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 blah. But I really think she's not getting nearly as much attention anymore, and I think people are just like starting to see through her shit. And I don't know how long she's going to be able to keep office.
They did polls on her district, and she's at like less than 40% approval rating. Still got reelected.
Yeah.
It's insane how it works.
Well, you guys also have to remember why do we have TV in the first place? Because there's commercials. The only reason you can watch TV is because of the commercials. Who do they have? They don't have me up there doing a commercial. They have famous people.
I would argue it's more basic than that. It's like the Roman gladiator pits. That's what TV is.
Well, yeah,
it's the circus things that it keeps people entertained.
What I'm trying to say is why people like her win. You know, people just believe no matter what. Let's say what's his name? Give me a famous actor that does commercials. Why are they in commercials? Because people. Okay, Ryan Reynolds. Why do you think Ryan Reynolds is in a lot of commercials? Because people will sit there. Yeah, he makes money, right? But not only that, somebody says, "Oh my gosh, Ryan Reynolds drinks Crown Royal. I better go drink some Crown Royal too," because they want to be like Ryan Reynolds.
Well, we learned that shit like in high school.
I know, but everybody's forgetting it.
Well, no, we have idolatry in this country where they'll see Ryan Reynolds is wearing certain sunglasses. Kim Kardashian has this shirt on. This celebrity is doing that. Oh, the red carpet. Oh my God, you look so good. What's the name of the dress? What's your hand? Like, you're exactly right. With that, the people they hyper focus on celebrities, and they want to live like them, and they'll spend way too much money to get things, so they feel like, you know, their life is better somehow because they're wearing the same shoes that some jack-off that doesn't give a shit about you.
Subliminal messaging. What was the deal with Kim Kardashian? Came up with some online clothing line that she sold.
Hold on a second, Goofy. I'll let you talk.
For some doll that was in the metaverse that actually you don't even, you can't even wear them. It was some kind of. She made millions of dollars on that.
Yeah, what were we gonna say, Goofy? Hey, Goofy.
Yeah. My father-in-law did a reverse mortgage because of that dumbass motherfucker.
Tom Selleck?
What is his name? Yes, Tom Selleck, exactly. So he's like, well, I'm gonna go with that guy, and we learned this shit in high school. When you go into advertising, there's different ways that you do it. You know, you want to bring in somebody who's famous, so you want to be like famous like them, or you bring in like regular people so you can associate with them, or there's different ways that they manipulate you, and I'm just like so disgusted because he went with that company, and that's fine, whatever. And every time I see a Tom Selleck commercial, I'm just disgusted. I turn it off.
Yeah.
I'm just grossed out.
But I mean,
because they're not telling you what you really need to know, because reverse are going to be what's going to be coming down the pike. Because once our grandparents or whatever pathway, like for example, my father-in-law, whatever shit he's got going on with his reverse mortgage, yeah. So my husband asked him, like, what's going to happen when you pass away? And he's like, well, what do you want, my house? We're like, no, we got to figure out, because we only got like 90 days to get your shit out of the house before they sell it.
Well, they're not going to do that. They're not doing that for free. I mean, you got to remember, this is a business. They're not doing it for free, but.
Well, I mean, exactly. I mean, I'm sorry, reverse mortgage? Exactly. You're going to get a whole lot, but there's a mortgage. You're still going to be accumulating interest this whole damn time. It's a bank. That's what they're doing. The reverse mortgages are going to be the next thing to hit. Like the whole shit before, when they were giving people loans when they didn't deserve it or earn it or be able to pay for it. Yeah, that's the next leg to drop.
Well, that's just the way it is, unfortunately.
In my personal opinion.
I know, and I hear that you've got experience with it, and you're upset about it right now. But like I said, on the other hand, though, nobody's gonna give your father-in-law a loan that they're gonna lose money on either. It's It's awful how they do it, but
yeah, it's predatory as hell. But the person still has to sign because they get dazzled with the you can get rich quick. You'll get a bunch of money, and then just go ahead and sign here. Don't worry about reading. Fine.
What?
But like.
Yeah, what's the other one where they have that song?
Until after you die.
What? Yeah, but you got to realize too. Maybe your father-in-law is pissed off at all the kids. Like, so when I was plumbing one day, I went to this guy's house, and he's like, you see that Mercedes next door? He's all, I pay them money to park my Mercedes over there. You know why? Because my kids are a bunch of degenerate, ungrateful pieces of shit, and I don't want them to have anything that I have. So I'm going to waste all my money so they can't take it from me when I die.
Okay, well, that's not why my father...
I'm not saying it's true, but I'm just saying that some people, that's why they do those reverse mortgages. Because they can have fun with the money and their kids can go fuck themselves. I'm just trying to say, you know, it's both. There's two sides to every story.
Of course.
You know, and I'm not defending them because it is predatory lending. It's just like those people. Hey, we'll loan you $250 if you pay us. What is it like? You got to pay them double the money back in 2 weeks or something like that. You're never gonna get out from underneath there. But people follow for it.
Around here, you can get $500, but you're paying. You have to pay it back within like 30 days, with an additional like $150 on top. So once you get into that, once you get
over 20. Anything over 28% is a loan shark.
But
you might as well just sell your house to a pawn. Yeah, to a pawn
Once you get into it, though, it's so hard to get out of.
Right.
Sure, because the late charges will eat you up, and that's what they're hoping for.
Well, not only that.
Bingos, you sell land to people that you know they can't afford the payment, and then you take the land back.
Yeah. Well, not only that too. What they do is you have to give them a check, right? So they can go cash that check, and whether you have the money in there or not, then once that check goes through, you're still paying what 30 some odd bucks to the bank now for declined transaction fees, and you know it's
and
just
they'll put a lien on you. So when you file taxes, they get their money first. It's super predatory.
Yeah.
It's like student loans. Like you can't declare bankruptcy and get out of it. Like that's the massive red flag. Like, but people. Thousands of them by the day, they're signing up for them because they're sold on the dream that they need college education to make it. Or
right.
They're like, man, I really need this little money, or this reverse mortgage will be so great because all the upfront benefits, but they don't have the critical thinking to like look through it. What's this going to look like when it ends, and how bad is it going to be for me? Like, how many years am I going to be struggling against this? Because a lot of older people, they'll go for a reverse mortgage. And they'll get sold. They'll get sold a song and dance, and then they're like 60 or 70, wanting to retire. They got to work for like 10 or 15 more years.
Yeah.
They're not able to do what they thought they could during their golden years. They're having to dip into all their savings and retirement. They're getting wiped out. It's bad.
Well, no, you have these older people, and like my stepdad, you know, he doesn't work anymore. He's retired. He worked his ass off all his life so he can relax now, and that's what retirement's about, relaxing, right? You don't want to have to keep up with the new scams that are coming out, and that's how they get them all the time, you know.
Yeah, they prey on the older people.
Or the poor, you know, with the check cashing loans. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I used it once or twice. I was lucky to get out of it though.
My grandma got scammed out of. Almost got scammed out of like either $5,000 or $8,000. So what they had done is they found me and they started looking to my oldest living relative and called my grandmother at like 2 a.m. and said, jail. And I'd gotten into a wreck in Ohio, and they got like really. Not specific, but they were like, he specified that he did not want his mother to know. And my grandma was so convinced. I got a call in the morning that, I woke up like, hello. And they're like, Mama wants to know if you're in jail or not. And I was like, what? Mama wants to know if you're in jail or if you're okay. And I
remember that.
Yeah, I remember that scam.
You know, there's something like $8 billion or more per year that get scammed out of senior citizen Americans.
I got the police union call scam today.
Did you?
Today.
The worst one of all is we're calling about your vehicle, that we need to update your warranty.
Can I talk to you about your car's extended warranty?
Right.
Yeah. What year is your Mercedes? I'm like, I don't have a Mercedes. I've got a Bentley.
So I watched.
I'm gonna talk about my penis extended warranty.
Oh my gosh, leave it. Goofy's our female version of Richard Hurts, I think sometimes. No, but now I forgot what I was gonna say. Shit. Oh well.
I get a call.
Goofy's penis.
Yeah, I'm thinking about her penis.
The pharmacy.
Retractable penis.
Oh my gosh.
Quickly.
Yeah.
I get the calls for at the shop, for the over the phone medication, and as soon as I ask for a pallet of heroin, they hang up.
Oh, is that what it is? So there was. Oh, I know what I was gonna say now. Hold on, drunk. Before I forget, because I remember what I was gonna say and I don't want to forget again. You know me.
All right, go ahead. Shoot it.
Shit, now I forgot. Oh, I was watching the news and they talked about this guy that says, when you get those phone calls, get the most information you can, because you can send them a bill, because they're illegally doing it, right? We know they're illegally doing it. And so I watched the news. I paid like $40 for this program, and they give you the forms to send to them. So what they told you to do is you got to get all their information, right? So the other day somebody called me and they're like, yeah, we're with the insurance, auto insurance, whatever. And I said, oh yeah, what, can you give me your website? All of a sudden, fuck you, motherfucker, you watch that fucking TV show, fuck you, and just... Because it's true. If you can get a way of, you got to take a screenshot of that phone call, and then you can say, look, this is who they said they were with, and give them a website. You can send them that little paperwork from that little $40 thing, I think. Because if they actually get fined for it, the government fines them like $10,000 the first time. So they'd rather give you $800 to shut the fuck up than, yes.
Eddie, remember I told you that story while you were here? We were sitting in the living room where they called, but if you want to do this, punch 1 now. I punched 1, and the guy answers the phone, and after a while, and now he's just straight to fuck you because he knows it's me. So
yeah,
I just keep calling them back.
I like to answer the phone, and whatever I'm watching on YouTube, I just sit the phone like right in front of it.
Oh, we got
especially
Hope showed up. I heard that laugh.
Drunk Uncle, true story. God, she's been here for a while. God's honest, true story. I used to get those calls back when, and I had VHS tapes of porn, and I would plug one of those in and lay the telephone down in front of that, and all I heard was, and I left the phone laying there for like 30 minutes, and I picked it back up, and the guy's still there. He goes, hello? He was still there like 30 minutes later.
Are you kidding me?
I'm straight up God's honest truth.
Wow.
You gave him free ASMR.
Yeah, I should have sent him a bill, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. You should have charged him.
I should have. Now I probably can.
Yeah, Kate, like what Kate just said, June, all they talk about is Pride Month. Do you know that June is also PTSD Awareness Month? How many of you know that before I just told you that?
I know, I did know that.
But I mean, no, they make a big deal about Pride Month. Well, what about freaking, PTSD? What about our veterans?
I tell you, Eddie, I told you about my newest employee, right? Where they fit in the community.
And by drunk saying he, this person used to be wanted to be called she. Now they want to be called he.
Yeah, and I've known this person for probably about 6 years. I've watched the transition. We're totally cool. I watch Crowder around him, like they seem to be a pretty cool person. They from the things that I bring up, like I ask them about it. For the most part, they are not on board. They are not on board. Like this is going to. Even when I brought up, like I was like, hey, I don't know if this was a joke or a real thing, but I heard there's going to be a number in your little acronym thing, LGBTQAIP, like free, and he was like, I wouldn't doubt it. And it started going in about the new flags and stuff like that. Started complaining about these new flags that are being made.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, I think Hope was going to say something, and I interrupted her. Sorry, Hope.
No, you're good.
Oh,
I've just been listening.
Hey, you know what I noticed? I hope that person I emailed you about earlier. You noticed they're not even in the chat today again. Nope, I'm still curious. God, I'm not gonna go into stuff, people, but there's somebody that something happened with. That happens with this person all the time, and I'm good friends with this person. I really enjoy this person, but it just now it's my thoughts are always thinking all the way around now. I'm second guessing myself nonstop. Like, was this person right? Or was that person right? Was this person, going back and forth, and it's just driving me nuts. The damn Matrix, drunk uncle.
Is this something that I'm aware of? Or
kind of.
Something?
Kind of. You weren't really involved in it because you don't deal with that shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's up, Honkus Maximus? By the way, Honkus gave us some money over the weekend, so thank you. He donated to the channel.
He probably shared one of his cheap.
Was it in $1 bills?
No, he made it hail. He was throwing out the coins.
Work for it. Oh,
he made it hail.
You worked for it. Nah.
I don't know. I think having it hail is better than because you can hear the coins hit the ground. I like hearing the jingle, 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 jingle.
Yeah, but then they got diaper butt by the end. Where are they supposed to put all that change?
Look, they pay me to put my clothes on. All right. You guys should know that by now.
Did I hear right that drunk uncle used to be a Democrat?
Yeah, he actually he voted for Hillary. He voted for Hillary.
Do you mind if I ask what made you change your mind?
It's called drunk. Yeah, he was drunk.
No, he was a Democrat for a long time.
If you don't want to answer, it's fine. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything.
No, I don't give a shit.
He did some mushrooms.
I'm on mushrooms.
God. Yeah, look at that. He's nervously like.
He did.
No, I've told the story.
His beard.
No, I've told the story plenty of times. It first started out with you remember like right before this was this is before COVID. Before Epstein, slightly before Epstein. Remember when this vaping stuff was supposedly killing kids? And does anybody remember that?
If you don't know, Drunk owns a couple vape stores, so that's the background to it.
Yeah, it was the popcorn lung scare.
Oh,
like, you had to get a double lung transplant because of vaping. Yeah, I remember.
Well, that was like 7 years ago, but yeah, I still get people coming in talking about popcorn. I was like, oh, you mean diacetyl? And they're like, oh, yeah, and I just go through it, and they're just like, oh, okay, well, that sounds like bullshit. But anyway, I didn't watch anything other than left-leaning news, especially like comedy. I mean, Trevor Noah, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, SNL.
And that's how they get you. If it's funny, you'll watch it, right? Nobody wants to watch the news.
It's not funny, though.
Well, to them, it's funny.
There's different brands of funny.
It's definitely not funny anymore. But anyways, when they started going after that, I was like, you're fucking lying. And then that's really what kind of just like broke it. I was like, well, what the fuck else are they lying to me about? And then it just opened up a whole fucking Pandora's box or whatever you.
What happened is he found Alex Jones.
I think Joe Rogan was my first like inkling into the other side, and then I think it was like the Hodge twins, and then Steven Crowder, and then Ben Shapiro, and I don't know. I've been much happier on this side. I really don't feel like a lot of my views have like shifted to the right. I think I'm just a casualty of the Overton window. Like the left just kept going left.
They moved the goalposts.
Yeah.
And I just stayed where I was at. and I'm just like, hey, where you guys going?
Well, what did the squad say a couple? Sorry to cut you off, Trump. But what did the squad say a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago? Nancy Pelosi isn't as far left as she should be anymore. So, right? What did it?
Yeah, I was just kind of like, where are you guys going? And then, I stumbled across, this channel, and all of a sudden, like, I'm still kind of where I was the whole time, but they're like now calling me a bigot and a white supremacist, and then like the side that I didn't know anything about, but like fucking hated, was like, hey, you want to talk? And I was like, hey.
Yeah, you don't serve their purpose anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the Hodge twins?
You're too white. Yeah, you're too
I don't know.
white.
By the way,
And
Drunk
you're
Uncle.
male.
I gotta use the restroom. Right.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, they mostly are under the conservative label now, but yeah, they still do stuff.
Are they still on YouTube? I haven't seen them.
They mostly go by the conservative twins now.
Oh, yeah.
Can I not go pee alone?
Yeah, we got a damn good show.
Yeah.
I can tell you the difference between Kevin and Keith.
Oh, I can't.
I can. I've watched them that much.
Yeah, I've watched them quite a bit. It's been a while.
Did you ever see that video of where Crowder took him out in the Tesla?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. They were so scared. They were like, "Oh, this guy's gonna go around this corner without touching the wheel." Oh man, white people were crazy.
Shut up, Brownie. Damn dogs. Oh, my house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where'd that troll go? Can I have your address? Cause my doctor sent me this new thing that I gotta do, and I'll send it to you instead of sending it to Color Guard.
Wait, Eddie, did you just ask him for his? Did you just ask him for his dress?
Address.
Yeah, right, address.
Yeah. They want to keep. They kept trolling me all night long.
For a dress.
How high are you right now, Goofy?
Are they seeing you or
I'm
something?
sitting down.
How much weed have you how much weed have you taken in today? I should say that.
Oh no, well actually I just. Why are you picking on me?
Cause you're the voice of the second.
I know. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just kind of, I'm just like chiming every once in a while, just making a goofy
right.
stuff. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, you're cool.
Serious.
Oh yeah.
By the serial conversation. So
by the way, guys.
Out of this.
Anyway,
super serious.
So we're moving on. Speaking of super serious, I forgot to even talk about this. Did you guys hear that one of my good friends, Tiny, is out of jail? Tiny is no longer in jail.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Tiny got out on Saturday.
Awesome.
Was it Saturday or Friday? It was either Friday or Saturday. I'd have to look at my phone.
Yeah, because there was no cell big enough to hold him.
Right?
Can't wait for the jokes.
I bet he's fucking just like.
He's always yoked. He's always big.
I mean, he was big, but he started getting smaller, but more fucking yoked out. I bet he's even more yoked now.
Hold on, wait. Let's see. Let me find this video. Oh wait, that's what I was looking for earlier too. Did anybody see the little picture I posted up earlier today of that love? There's a Pride parade in LA that I got stuck in over the weekend, trying to get to the Hollywood Walk of Shame. But I was like, Hope sent me a link, and I was watching something else, and I'm like, man, look at this. There's a pretty hot looking Asian lady. And then as I remember, what do they say? Why do you think they call it Bangkok? Let me get drunk out of the way. Look, I mean, I know the bulge is a little bit higher than, but still. What's in the bulge? Look at the bulge. Do you guys see the bulge?
I don't see anything.
Oh, it'll take a second. It'll take a second. You'll see an older lady in a wheelchair, and then there's a person. I shouldn't even say lady because you're not allowed to say that shit on YouTube. But there's a person in a wheelchair next to him. You see a person that looks female with, what do you call those things in her hair? What do you call those? Anyways.
I wouldn't think that would be a penis because I don't see the root.
It's not. I'm guessing it's not, but I'm just saying that's the wrong place to put something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think something was just stored there.
I'm pretty sure, but I'm just saying that's just well.
Where are you streaming, Eddie? Because I don't see you. You're not on.
I'm on YouTube.
Twitch. I don't see you on you.
I should be on Twitch.
You're not on Twitch, but you are
I'm
on
not?
YouTube.
Oh, well, shit.
I think she's smuggling apples.
Okay, now I see it.
You think she's smuggling apples?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's the wrong place to put whatever if you want to store something, I wouldn't have stored it there. I like it better when the growth.
Fanny packs are becoming more popular now. Wear a fanny pack.
Well, where would you store it, Eddie?
Well, all I know is that looks very. I mean, you can tell it's not really a penis, but I mean, it does kind of. Maybe they're trying to get that look.
I can't see nothing.
You can't see nothing. Man, you are really on a lot. You're on some good weed tonight. What kind of?
I'm on your YouTube channel. I'm looking.
It's not a camel toe.
It's a person holding a U.
Yeah, they're holding the U with the black shirt. Go just a little farther down and look at their gray spandex or whatever they're wearing.
That's a moose knuckle.
Or a hernia.
All right, I gotta move. We can't wait for Goofy to get Goofy. It's look. Okay, look at the. You see a person that's in a wheelchair. You see their shoulder. Can you see where their shoulder is? Look just a little bit.
I'm on your YouTube channel. I'm looking.
You're probably lagging, Goofy.
Yeah, you probably are.
All I see is like some chick with glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, now
You're looking in the background. Look over her right shoulder, your left.
Okay.
Do you see where?
The person holding a U?
The Asian girl?
Yes. Look at the Asian girl holding a U. Now look at her crotch.
Okay.
Do you not see some like a weird bulge?
Lower belly.
It's a tumor.
It's a tumor? All this time, I thought you were going to give us a better joke.
Not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. Okay. Hold on, let me see. Let me go to my channel. Let me go. I got a video of me and Tiny up here. Let's see.
The thing is that if they were trying to hide it, they'd have worn different clothing. And here's one thing. I think chicks with dicks are pretty awesome.
No, I don't. Alright, here's a quick video from my buddy Tiny. You can see how big he was before he went to jail. What's up, guys? Me and Tiny here chilling out. What are we gonna do today? We got some fun.
Hey, right? What's up, guys? We're out here standing for America. We're getting ready to, shoot off this freedom rally right here. Love not hate is why we're out here. It's gonna be a lovely summer out here in Portland, Oregon. It's time for the sun of freedom to rise and shine all over Portland. That is why we're out here. Much love, much respect. Come out here and take a stand with us.
Right on. Love you, brother. Love you too. There you go. That's Tiny. That's a big guy. So you can imagine how big he is getting out of jail. Although the food isn't that great in there, so
Well,
do you have that link I sent you?
The one from the news?
Of Tiny getting released.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I do. In fact, Hope is the one that told me about it. How are you finding out stuff before I do?
It's on Telegram.
Yeah, so who's the guy with the bunny?
I don't use Telegram. You don't know who that is? That's Tiny. He is he used to be Democrat.
He looks way smaller the last time I saw him. The last time I saw him was when he got shot.
That was about so right there. That was about a week before he got shot. I think he got shot the week after I made that video. I think.
Different Tiny, because unfortunately that's a very popular name amongst guys that are big.
That is Tiny. We're talking about the same. I mean, you may be talking about a different Tiny. I'm not.
Well, I remember the Tiny who got shot.
That's him.
The street. There was like, okay.
That's Tiny. He's the one who got shot.
Okay.
He's
but
from.
He was even bigger than that before he went, because he's went to jail. I mean, a couple times. They like to go after Tiny.
Got a $10 super chat from EFO.
Oh, thank you, EFO. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, he's Samoan, so it's not easy to be fit when you're Samoan. It's just in the DNA, I guess. Who knows? But you go back and look.
I know some Samoans. Yeah.
I can't find that link now that you sent me.
But he slimmed up and then got out, and then ended up getting shot, and then shortly after, had to go back again. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying when he gets out, he's just gonna keep getting yoked.
No time.
He works out, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what else are you gonna do? I mean, it seems like that's what he was doing the last time. Might as well keep it up.
Yeah.
He's Tiny's just a naturally large human being. He's a guy you don't want to fuck with. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Hey, I know it. Exactly. I'm 6 feet. I'm a naturally large woman.
Like, so speaking of where you were, I used to work for a plumbing company. We traveled the country. We had a guy named Tiny. Speaking of a guy named Tiny, it just made me think of it. He was like 450 pounds, just big old huge fat redneck dude. Not tall. He was just, big guy, right? But he also had some muscle behind him, right? He was a plumber. So we were out there, and I show up at my hotel in Dallas, in Las Colinas, and the Dallas Cowboys rookies all stayed at the same hotel that we were in. It was just out of coincidence, right? These fuckers would show up in their brand new $100,000 cars, and they take up 2 or 3 parking spaces. So I had a little Honda back then. I parked my Honda so they couldn't open up their fucking door. Next thing you know, they started still parked in front of the door to get into the hotel, but they parked sideways now, taking up 4 or 5 spaces. And I went to the front desk. I'm like, hey, who are the fucking Dallas Cowboys cars out there that are fucking taking up the spots? Oh, well, we can't tell you, sir. And so I left a little note on his door. I showed up that day, and this guy fucking gets out of his car with 4 defensive linemen from the Dallas Cowboys. And they saw how small I was, and they're like, oh, you can handle him. And this guy's talking shit to me, and I talk shit right back to him. So the next day I get on the elevator, and one of the guys that was in the car, he's like, holy shit, you're that guy from the white Honda. And I was like, yeah, you got a fucking problem too, asshole? They're like, no, you're funnier than shit, bro. You can come hang out with us anytime. So then I told my buddy Tiny at work what happened. So he's sitting there, he's like, let's go ride the elevator for a little bit, Eddie. So we're riding the elevator, and that one Dallas Cowboy got on the elevator, and he's like, what's up, motherfucker? He's like, my name's Tiny, you're fucking with my friend. And I'm just like, uh-oh. And he's all, Philadelphia rules, bro. Because I guess he was a Philadelphia fan. But it was just funny. Hope you didn't send that to me again. I never got it.
No, it's in the No Drama Club.
Oh, it's in the No Drama Club. Oh, see, I'm looking at our private messages. The things that you and I only say to each other.
Let's see how that is. All right.
I keep trying to hook you up, but...
Hey, I was going to say, if we could get Goofy and Hope together, we could have, like, some regular-sized human beings.
All right. Oh, here it is. Tiny is out.
Oh, we could level... Actually, yes. Yes, especially because I can give her a piggyback ride. Can you imagine how huge our children would be after that? That would be, like, so awesome.
Oh, I have trouble showing Telegram on here. That's what... I always have trouble showing Telegram on this program. But if you guys want to go to my Discord chat, it's right there. It's in the No Drama Club. You can click on it. Tommy Robinson News, Tiny is out. It's on Telegram. I always have trouble with Telegram. Don't know why.
Yeah, no drama.
I don't look at Telegram anymore.
Maybe because it's from Russia.
Oh, is that what it's from? Is it really?
It's most likely from China.
It's weird. So, when I was a Proud Boy...
Excuse me. No. Excuse me. No. It's China. Okay, get it right. Okay.
China.
No, but so when I was a Proud Boy... Alright, that means the joke's going on a little too far. When I was a Proud Boy... We only used Telegram because we thought it was such a secure way of chatting back and forth, where nobody... There is no such thing as a secure way of chatting back and forth.
Nope.
There's always... because all it takes is the fucking FBI showing up to my house and taking this, and guess what? It's no longer fucking secure. And then I get blamed for it.
Bro.
Huh?
So you get a VPN, bro.
Dude, if you got the stuff written on your iPad and the FBI shows up to your house and takes your iPad, they still got the information that you just sent to somebody. That's like.
Maybe they'll be able to tell me what my password is. Like,
hey, maybe. That's like, you know what's funny? So get this. So when I was married, my wife. When I was married, it's not the Eddie Show anymore today for some reason. It's the Eddie Block Show. Sorry, I'm kind of high myself. But when I was married, my wife cheated on me. And she cheated on me and made videos with these other people, right? So when I kicked her out of the house and she was leaving, she's deleting all these videos off of her phone and off of her iPad and off of her computer before she gave it back to me. But what people don't realize is, just because you say delete, after that you have to go into the trash can and you have to recycle it.
Be recovered.
Yeah. So guess what? I feel sorry for the FBI because, yeah.
So you just left it in the trash can. You gotta empty the trash. That's all I do.
Right. And this is a woman with 2 degrees. She has 2 degrees who makes just barely above minimum wage. So when we were talking about the degrees earlier, yeah, they sell you on a bunch of bullshit. You go to college, you're gonna make so much money. You know how much? You know where I made the money the most? Was as a plumber. In 2000, when I retired in 2007, I was making $104 an hour as a plumber, and not as the owner of the plumbing company, just the guy that went out and did the work. But yet I was a dumbass.
Computers than before I went to school for it. Knew more about land administration than before I went to school for it.
Marcus Maximus makes more than that pimping his sheep out every weekend.
Right? I know, right? Shit. No, but
Well,
when I went to college, you know, they normally say, oh, you go to college, you become a liberal, right? I went to college and I asked my professor, I was like, hey, I don't even know which way I go. He's like, well, then do the research, you'll figure it out. And I did. And when I actually did the real research, I realized, oh shit, I'm a Republican. All right. Why are you shaking your head, drunk?
Because the first part of your sentence could have went either way. You're like, I don't know which one.
I didn't.
Like, I don't know. Suck it if you like it.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? I'm actually good friends with that professor still to this day. So he's
one of my professors for a couple of years.
I remember, you know, he admitted that he voted for Trump. I was the very first show that he admitted it on. Oh no, he did that for CNN. He was on CNN and like, you voted for Trump, right? And I was like, yeah, I did. Hold on, let me see if I can find the video of that. He doesn't care. He's a farmer. He sold his farm, all of his farmland, because it wasn't worth it anymore.
There was a little short clip of Ford Fisher from News to Chair on CNN over the weekend, like a 2-minute clip.
Oh, here it is. He was with wasn't it Van Jones? Isn't that the guy's name, Van Jones or something? I think it's Van Jones. Here, let me show it to you guys. This is my buddy, a professor of mine.
California farmers call this place flyover country. It's only a few hours from San Francisco, but you will likely never see it. You're just gonna travel above it on your way to the coast. This is on my friend's property. But while you may never even look down on these fields, make no mistake, you probably eat what's produced here every single day. Take a look in your refrigerator, all right? Chances are the food you're what you Donald Trump do to make a blue state.
Like, I get a text message from my teacher. He's like, look, Eddie, I let Van Jones drive my tractor. Where is he at? Hold on, here he is right here. This is my buddy Paul.
Keep their businesses running. Your entire business requires immigrant labor. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump says, get them out of here.
Yeah.
And you vote for Donald Trump. Why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
You're going to make me see. This is the first time I've ever confessed publicly that I actually voted for him. I've dodged the question for a few months. The alternative was unthinkable. Continued pressure from the federal government was squeezing us out. Big issue here is water. We got no help.
He'll actually come on my show anytime. He told me, Eddie, I'll come on your show anytime you want. He's a good guy, real good guy.
Was this 2016 or? 2020.
This video came out April 5th, 2017. So this was 2017.
Okay, so after the first, okay.
Yeah.
You saw him at the Trump rally, didn't you? Eddie, when he was talking to everybody, he seen you, he just came over and said, "Hey," right? Was that the same guy?
Which Trump rally? Which one?
I can't remember where.
When I was in Arizona?
I think because it was outside.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was the one in Arizona, but that was not my professor. That was actually, you're gonna laugh now, girls. That was actually Earl Weber, who was black.
Oh, okay. Well.
Earl Weber, and he's running. He ran again this year. Earl Weber's the good guy.
He may have been referring to Larry Elder. It was around the same time. I've burned a lot of brain cells. I don't know how close they were.
Yeah, you freaking.
There's Willow. Hey, Willow.
What's up, Willow? Willow, are you feeling better? Her husband was on though, so you know her husband was talking to us earlier. They'd take turns. They can't deal with that much Eddie. And by the way, I know a lot of people are saying, well, where's Digawarp? She's on vacation. Her and her husband are probably getting freaky right now in the hotel room. I know, right? So yeah, everybody's asking, well, where's Digawarp? Her and her husband are having some fun.
Like your bed springs are those? No, I didn't. Okay.
Where if you can say like where is or let me put it this way. I know she's in Florida. Is she close to Orlando?
Digawarp? No.
No.
She's on the Gulf Coast.
Oh.
I can say that. That's a whole long coast.
I don't even know where Orlando is in Florida. I don't know shit about that state. I know
right in the middle.
Okay.
She's on the Texas side. She's on the western side of Florida. How about that?
Like in the Panhandle thing.
Yeah, other side.
Oh well. Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. But
sorry, I turned the audio down.
The end of July, my team has got a Muay Thai boxing thing. And I was debating on whether to go or not since I gonna travel to DC in August. Is August still on or?
As far as I know, yeah. If you guys don't know, I got to testify. In fact, I just got a call from a new lawyer today that I'm helping out. So I didn't know that there was that many people now. Well, you guys can figure it out on your own. There's more now people charged in the main trial than before, so.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh yeah, they're charging. This person's been charged for a while though, but now they charge them with sedition again too. So, it is what it is. But I'm gonna testify for him. So yeah, so.
Richard's asking if we ever called the inmate chick.
Oh no! You know what? They actually texted me the other day. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. They texted me. Yeah. I don't have my phone on me. I don't even know where my phone is right now. I'm feeling.
Hey, Rob, do you remember me being a little standoffish about the whole thing, whether it was real or not?
What are you talking about? The inmate?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Hawkins did some digging on him. I'm sure he don't mind me saying he dug into it. It's definitely a fake account.
Oh well, I was just saying. I was going to say that I'm sure there's ways that are to get it all fucked up. But I was like, I want to talk to my correctional officer customer, and sure enough, he didn't come in the next day. And I brought up the little database. I couldn't remember the name of the website, but I brought up the JPAL or whatever it is, and he was like, "Yeah, I know that. Yeah. And this, that, or the other. You need to do this, that." And I was like, "Man, I'll tell you." He pulled up the page, and a lot of them were like pretty good looking to be in prison. And he's like, "Bro." He's like, I went to have to train at a women's prison. He's like, I could not work there. He's like, it's ridiculous on how many of them are actually good looking.
Yeah, but I've talked to local correctional officers here, and they're like, this was like 5 or 6 years ago when Rider Prisoner first came out, and me and my buddy are at the Elks Lodge. I'm like, dude, look at this chick. Is she really in your? Do you see her every day? He's like, yeah. Let me look at that name. And he looked at the name. He's like, that's not her. That's a fucking cousin that comes to visit her every once in a while. Yeah, but that's not her picture.
Well, I guess that's the loophole.
Right. So I mean, some of them could be real. That's what I think we should do, though. We need a show to figure out how many of these people. Let's start exposing these scam artists. I already get death threats for being who I am, anyways. We might as well add to the list of who's sending out those death threats.
Yeah, because you get a decent-looking family member, and I guess
my wife did it.
Maybe funnels through them, or
my wife. That's how my wife got me. The internet days, so we talked on the internet. And I saw what I thought was her. No, that was
one of these pictures
no,
like
no. It was her picture of her when she first started college. And I gotta admit, it took her 10 years to graduate college, right? So this is like when she first was just barely 19 years old, fresh out of high school. She was a cheerleader, She didn't show her cheerleading outfit, but I mean, she was in her cheerleader shape. And then when I met her, I was like, and she's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that picture of me on the internet, that's like 10 years old.
This is strategy,
And it worked, because I fell in love with her for the person she was, right?
Oh, there's still probably pictures on my Facebook of when it was probably like 12 years ago when I had like my one photo shoot.
No, I met her on MySpace, bro. That's how old. It was a 2008 we met on MySpace. 2007 we met on MySpace, I think. Yeah, we should go back to MySpace, by the way.
MySpace was awesome.
Let's see. Yeah, my email address still is loverboy408 from when I lived in San Jose. That's my MySpace.
MySpace is fantastic. That's actually how, even though I was a promoter in the local scene, my husband asked me out on a date on MySpace.
So you met your significant other on MySpace as well. Interesting.
Well, no, I met him in the bars. I didn't know who he was. He knew I was. I'm goofy for Jesus, right? He's like, hey. I said, well, I'm goofy for Jesus. He goes, yeah, I'm silly for Satan. Because as some of y'all might know, my husband used to be a satanic priest.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
So did he believe in Satan?
As far as I know, because I used to be in a Satanism when I was a teenager.
Yeah, I've followed it a little.
Yeah, so my understanding from...
I'm not even signed in, though.
Yeah, so my understanding, because, when I started dating my husband, because I was a goofy for... Everybody knew me as Goofy for Jesus in the local scene, and I was also unmarried, and I wasn't looking for a boyfriend. There's a scripture that says an unmarried woman, a virgin, is sorry about the Lord's affairs. Married woman's interests are divided, and I never want my interests to be divided, so therefore I didn't date.
Okay, I was just asking if he actually believed in Satan or not.
No, he actually, because his birthday is on All Saints Day, he actually thought it was, because he was a
what the fuck am I seeing here?
What do you call it? He performed stuff. He's a satanic priest. He actually performed things. Like whatever they do.
I got you.
Right.
That's kind of scary.
And I suppose, but I wasn't scared.
No, most Satanists don't even believe God or
What's up,
the
Mega?
devil is real.
Well, I think they're kind of lost in a little bit, because in one way, They pick on Christians.
Sorry, I just saw your question. I'm not trying to cut you off, but somebody asked me a question a long time ago in the chat. I just saw it. So Mega, I'll answer that in a minute. I'll let Goofy finish though. We're done.
Oh no, well, my understanding as far as like when I actually did read the Satanic Bible from front to back, it's more humanism. It's more about the fact that because you're weak, I am almost obligated to take advantage of you. And that was like really, it was hard to read that book from, especially because I coveted it when I was a teenager. One of my friends,
I know it's dinner time. Shut up.
and he let me borrow the book, and I read it, and it was like, oh, yay, wonderful. And then when I met my husband, he wanted a Bible, and then I went ahead and bought myself a Satanic Bible, and I actually read it from front to back, but I had to read it with holding my arm length out because I could feel the stabbing coming to me. But that's probably a discussion we should have.
Yeah, not on the show. Not on the show, not while high, not while on medications. Something private. Real quick though, so Mega Million... Wait, where'd it go? Mega Million asked me that, do I think that groups like the Proud Boys or any other groups from the right will ever be back on the streets and able to push back Antifa? I mean... We did it in Portland, back in August. You can still do it, but so many people are afraid.
And they really just went away, or just we're not hearing anything about it?
We're just not here. There's no more Antifa streamers. They told all their streamers, oh, we're gonna kick your ass and beat you up if you stream our videos, and they kicked them out.
Well, I know that, but we used to have Wissy that would generally always end up where these things were going on. And,
well, he's for
he's
the last
doing the trucking thing.
Yeah, he's doing the trucking thing.
And
so.
I haven't really heard much from BCP.
He's right there with the trucking thing. BCP was right there with him.
Oh, he's doing. Okay.
Everybody was on the trucking thing.
So we don't really got anybody that used to keep tabs on these people. Not really. On that. Not really.
They come in the chat room every once in a while, but I mean, you should have. You know what? There was a video. Remember, I called the guy the fake Kaepernick. When I was still working with Ben Berkwam. I mean, I work with him still. We're friends, so I wouldn't say like we hate each other. Wouldn't work with the guy. But when me and Ben were actually, all my videos went to Ben. Right, we were at the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's this guy that looks like Colin Kaepernick trying to attack him and stuff like that. And my battery was dead. I'm like, you guys go. Because what they did is they're like, we're gonna march across the Golden Gate Bridge, and we're gonna come back. I was like, my batteries are low. I'll wait here. Next thing you know, I see some guy, mess, because I'm watching the live stream, and I'm like, man, they're messing with Ben, and nobody was really getting involved, So I hauled ass over there, and on that video I said, you know why I got in a fight with that guy, or I got in his fucking way? Because you have to stand up. I don't care what's gonna happen to you. Do you want to be the little bitch that didn't fight for your rights? Are you happy with that? If you are, then that's fine, but I'm not. You know.
Party. You gotta fight.
But I mean, I'm just saying, guys, you have to stand up for it's your right to go out there, and that's why they have people like Antifa. They think they can scare you into voting their way. Can't scare me into voting your way. I'll still vote however the fuck I want, and that's why God Harley was saying earlier that you don't want to let people see your vote, so they can intimidate you later on. Right?
I pretty much wear my vote on my sleeve, right? Don't you?
Well, I do. But you have these people that you know what, they don't want. There's people out there that are afraid of being hurt, and they won't tell you how they voted, and that's totally fine. I have no problem with you being afraid of telling people how you voted, as long as you voted the way you wanted to vote.
Amen.
That's all I say.
The older people, they're very secretive about how they. I remember my grandma wouldn't even tell me how she voted, and this is when I thought we were on the same page, and she's like, Oh, okay. Grandpapa? Nope.
Loose lips sink ships.
They were very secretive. I mean, my mom told me they were always Democrats. They were always Democrats, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, they just getting confirmation. How'd you vote now? I'll Papa now.
Yeah, Mega's right. That's the problem. So patriots just they think, you know, we're stronger than them. They still believe in the old ways. We got to start fighting the way they do.
Well, I don't have any problem explaining who I voted for and why I voted for them.
Well, no, but some people do. Some people do.
Well, it's kind of
and like Drunk said, exactly. Yeah, if it's private, then it's private. Like, a lot of people keep things private that other people are like way out about, and like we're way out about. Anyway.
Richard, I don't know where my phone is, Richard. I think it's on my scooter. I think my phone is outside on my scooter. I have no phone. Sorry. I don't know if you're texting me or what.
I got all my devices on the Find My Mac thing.
Oh, I could, but I'm not going to do that on my live stream. I could care less where my phone is right now. I could care less where my cell phone is. I live on 4 acres. I haven't left the property today. My phone is somewhere around here. I don't lock my doors. You can come to my house. But you'll find my 12-gauge shotgun and my freaking dogs greeting you. Like Donnie, you hear Donnie barking right now. Somebody's out there.
Yeah, if it comes in with small dogs, yeah.
Oh, I got a small dog too. Where's that little bitch at? Brownie. Oh, she's out there barking too. Here?
They're gonna come at your house with kittens.
I got a big dog, I got a small dog. And I got a medium-sized dog. She's sitting... Where's she? There's Panda. Panda bear. She's the quiet one. There she is.
Like, Eddie, do you know if there's anything in the Constitution or Bill of Rights that guarantees your privacy?
Ooh, I have to break it. Where's my pocket Constitution? Is in my pocket. It's not in my pocket today. I keep it in the truck.
Well, I mean, right?
Drunk Uncle's gonna tell you that's part of the.
Wouldn't that be one?
Hold on one second. What is that? What do you always quote your freaking Drunk Uncle? The Matrix. What do you call it?
The Matrix is always watching.
No, not the Matrix. You always the something Mandela effect. There's a Mandela effect. Isn't there a Mandela effect about the Constitution? It doesn't really say you have this or that or something. What's the one?
No, I'm asking, like, is there anything in the Constitution or Bill of Rights that guarantees any kind of, like, privacy to an individual citizen?
Yes.
I think the 14th Amendment does, but I think that's out on medical.
Well, that's HIPAA law. That's just Constitution.
Well, my first thought was.
None of us would have it memorized.
Wouldn't that give you the right to privacy in a way?
Let's see. So I'm gonna read through it real quick. Hold on.
I guess it depends on how you define privacy, because the Patriot Act overruled a lot of that, didn't it?
A ton of it, yes.
Well, I mean, but they can't. Okay, let me look it up.
Well, like, so
they're not supposed to come in without a warrant, which is supposed to be, done by a judge.
Yeah, but if you get a liberal judge who doesn't like you, right? Look at my house got raided.
Search and seizure.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the 14th Amendment talks about due process. But I'm talking specifically your right to privacy. Because it's, common knowledge. It's in the public sphere that, like, you have the right to privacy, and oh no, they're violating my right to privacy and all of this stuff. But I keep coming back to, where is it in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, which is what you get as a citizen, the things that you can rally about, like, where is it that it explicitly says that you have any right to privacy?
Well, wouldn't that be pretty close? Because you'd have to get something...
Close to, like, horses and hand grenades.
Something from a judge in order to, like a subpoena or whatever. Anyway.
Well, that'd be privacy in your own home.
Exactly. Well, that's a right to privacy, right? So that's the closest I can think is to a right to privacy. Is you have to, because some of my friends are like, well, I mean, just just let them.
So my house, when I lived in Madera, right? My house, I owned the house. I owned the property it sat on, but I did not own the mineral rights.
Yep.
But I think what it is, 98% of America, 98% of people in America do not own the mineral rights to what's below their house.
I get that, but that's not what we're talking about.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm giving you an example.
Actually, it's a very interesting fact because I have a friend who lives up in Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
and they did not sign on to that. As a matter of fact, they found out that they did all still own the mineral rights, and when they tapped in and found it, all those people are getting paid bukus.
But it's like we were talking about, going in and voting and, people keeping their things private and different kinds of stuff, violations of privacy law and stuff like that, that it's just interesting that there's so much assumption about your right to privacy and people not being able to ask you stuff that's a bunch of legalese that isn't actually propped up by the Constitution or the Bill of Rights.
Well, it's like when they say, when people say, "Oh, I say you can't film me, you can't film me." Well, that's not how it works.
Exactly.
What is called
no right to privacy in the public sphere. Like if you're out and about, you can be recorded. Like,
it's
plain and simple.
You know what? I got my media law book right here. That's why I took the whole class. It's not.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, if you're in your home and you haven't broken a crime besides this whole fucking Patriot Act, you should have the right to privacy. But in the public,
thank you, Trade.
No.
It's called what it's called. Do you if you have it's called if you in your mind believe that you have. Oh my gosh! Thank you. Expectation of privacy. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I think we're getting acclimated to the fact that they're winding those things down, or what do you call it, like grinding them down.
Well, they have to keep changing. Like since drones come around now, right? Before the problem was telephoto lenses, right? Like if you have an expectation of privacy in your backyard, you would think, right? But then now all of a sudden there's a drone flying overhead. Well, there goes your fucking privacy, right?
Well, it was before that with satellites too.
Yeah, satellite. What movie was that? Was it War Games? Where they showed the picture of the girl nude bathing in on the satellite? Was that War Games? What movie was that?
No, it wasn't War Games. I know what you're talking about though.
No, it was David and Bathsheba because she was like sunbathing on her roof.
I forget. I just remember I was a little kid when this happened, right? So it's got to be an 80s movie. But you're infatuated, and think about that. The government, we know what happened 50 years ago now. So can you imagine the technology they have nowadays? From what I understand, as long as you have a cell phone on you, whether it's turned on or not, that phone can still be tracked wherever you are, especially inside buildings.
Well, what I think is interesting, Eddie, is that this, like, for example, my phone is like 2 years old, whatever, but this new phone, I can't take, because usually if you want to reset a phone, like if it messes up, you just like pop the back off and you take the battery out, right? This one, you can't do that. The battery is like implemented with the phone.
Oh yeah, iPhone's been doing that forever. You can't take an iPhone. You can't take a battery out of anything.
Well, anymore. I don't have an iPhone, and
there was a long time.
I don't even know where my phone is. So if I lose my phone, I'll just like FBI and say, "Can you tell me where my phone's at?"
Because there was a long time where like the idea of your picture being taken, like, oh man, the government's already going to have you, but like with technology, people love it that you can just look at your phone and that unlocks it. Or like a lot of the stuff that people rally and rabble-rouse about with privacy laws, when they go and sign up for Facebook or any number of other things, they won't read through it, all the stuff that they're giving up, the things that they don't have rights of privacy about, like all of the things they're signing away with terms and conditions, they'll just click accept.
There's a famous South Park episode on that, right, where they make them, they put them together like it's called the caterpillar, I think, right? Has anybody seen that episode? Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But no, so one of the South Park guys wanted to quit. He's like, I don't want to accept your terms of agreement, and they're like, but you already accepted it. So guess what? Now they sewn his mouth to the ass of another person. So whatever that person eats now comes.
Oh my gosh, that sounds familiar.
That's a South Park episode. Yeah.
Human Centipede. They made 3 movies of that.
Oh, did they?
At least 2 movies. Yeah, it's called Human Centipede.
But all they're doing is they're saying that's what Apple's doing to you. Nobody reads that. I mean, come on, right? You get a new phone, whether it's Apple, whatever tablet you get, right? And in order to even do anything on there, you got to agree to something. How many people have read it? How many people have read it? I haven't.
Oh, no. But, I mean, I'll say at least a few years ago, Apple was pretty good about, like, if somebody confiscated their phone, the police or whatever, and they were just like, yo, we need to know what's on this phone. They'd be like, no.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Not anymore. Well, yeah, you know what, though? I from my experience, the FBI is sitting there. It's when you have 25 federal agents sitting in front of you asking you for your password, your brain is like, what? You know, you're such dazed at that point in time, you know? It's like, what the fuck are you guys even doing in my house right now? So it's their tactic, you know? They can get a lot of people to give up their passwords, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I can't even give them my own password. So
well, that's because you smoke too much weed.
Good luck. What are you talking about?
Good night, Honkers.
Chronic pain. Kiss my ass.
So do I. That's why I can say it.
God bless you.
Hey, if you can't, you know, words are only fucking words, folks. I'm sorry.
Well, all I know is that Eddie is a really sweet guy, so I don't. You can say whatever you want. Well, I mean, yeah, I know where your heart is, so I don't really give a fuck.
There you go. Thank you. Speaking of that. No, I'm getting tired.
No.
What was that, Drunk? You asked a question of Goofy and she was answering?
No, I said you can be mean.
Oh, I definitely can be mean. Didn't you guys see me at the frickin' Rose Bowl fucking this weekend? I was going off on some people. They're like, hey, you know you should get some water for your dog. I'm like, why don't you fucking ask me first if I have water for my dog, bitch? I didn't say it that way, but, you know, in my head, I'm thinking, like, bitch, why the fuck are you asking or telling me that I'm not treating my dog right? Don't you see this big bottle of water behind me? Like...
It's a Saint Bernard. You should get one of those full barrels that go right under...
Oh, yeah.
That's for whiskey.
That's different, but no, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when people are like, "Don't you know it's like it's gonna be too hot for your dog if he's here in 3 more hours?" That's what they literally told me. They're like, you know, it's gonna get hot pretty soon. You should take him home. It's like, bitch, why do you think I paid the extra $5 to get here at 5 o'clock in the morning? So it wouldn't be hot for my dog.
They charge you more to get there early?
Yeah, if you want to be there, you can either come. There's a 10 o'clock fee and there's a 5 o'clock fee. I paid for the 5 o'clock fee because I knew Donnie would be too hot in the sun.
And they charge you more for the 5 o'clock fee.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know why? Because people want to get there. You know, you got those people. It's the Rose Bowl. They're selling antiques. People want to get there first to buy the shit first.
I understand that. It's never worked that way. Like, generally when you buy early, you get a better price. You come later, you know. You're like, hey, you really don't come in? Okay.
Well, and after being at that Rose Bowl flea market, you know, when I think of flea markets, I think of a place, you know, where you can get 20 fucking socks for $1. Not this place. Oh, no. You know, you ever watch Storage Wars? Speaking of that, I met the guy from Storage Wars on there. But if you ever watch Storage Wars, you're like, where the fuck are they getting these prices from? The Apple sells this for $1,000, yeah. But they're saying, oh, I can get $2,000 for it. Well, yeah, if you go to the Rose Bowl flea market... The Rose Bowl flea market. If something's worth $5, hey, how much you selling that for? They'll tell you fucking 100. They had a King of the Hill shirt. Drunk. You know King of the Hill, right? Had a King of the Hill shirt. And it was all faded. He wasn't yellow anymore. He was green. Right? He was it faded to green. And I'm like, hey, how much is that shirt, bro? Guy told me $75 for a King of the Hill shirt.
Oh, because it was original.
Yeah, but still.
Well, these are the reasons why I tell you to look for those jerseys, my friend.
I also learned on eBay, just because they're asking $75 for it doesn't mean it's worth $75. All right.
Yeah, some people just pay like. Yeah, imagine how much I would pay for a Nate Diaz shirt that I've never seen. There's just one, and it happens to be in my size, and it's all faded. It might have some holes in it, but I was like, that fucking says Metal Militia Nate Diaz on it. I've never seen that. Because he used to be sponsored by Metal Militia.
I see. Rich?
I wouldn't care. I mean, as long as it was in my price range, I'm not going to pay fucking $100. Well,
when did you send me this email, Richard? I don't see it anywhere. By the way, guys, the VA bought me a new scooter today.
Woo woo.
Yeah, well, I mean, I bought it. The way the VA works, well, so I'm special, so I'm part of a special group. I have a special insurance, right? Because of my spinal bifida. Only very few people have this insurance. So up to $2,000, I can buy anything medically I want, and all I gotta do is send them a receipt, and they'll pay me back. So I searched for a scooter. No, I haven't got them to approve the weed yet. I haven't tried it. But anyways,
medicine.
Speaking of my cane, so you guys are gonna laugh at me. So for those of you that didn't watch yesterday, when I park my truck and I get on I use a cane to get from the front of the truck to the back. As soon as I get to the back, I hop on my scooter and I lean my cane on my hitch. I always do it so it's easy access when I get back with my scooter, right? I thought somebody stole it. No, they just threw it in the back of the truck. They were trying to protect me. So I found my cane. It was in the bed of my truck.
Awesome.
Apparently the person thought somebody was going to steal it from me or something. So, yeah.
And saved it from yourself.
Because I mean, look. This is like a $10 cane, and it's so destroyed and broken. I mean, look, it's not even straight anymore because my ass is so fat. I was like, who would steal a broken cane?
I've actually got either one of my dad's canes or my grandfather's canes right in front of me. But I don't think it would hold up. It's a cool cane.
Yeah. Here, you guys want to see the new one I got? I ordered it today. They said it'll be in next week. I got a bright green one too. There we go. This is it. It's the four-wheeler, the bright green. No, but she said it was in stock and it would get to me by next week.
It's got big old splits down it though.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, now I'm showing it to you, drunk. Sorry, I wasn't showing it. Oh, and get this. You don't want to know. You guys want to know how much of a cheapskate I am, right? The government's paying for this scooter. It doesn't matter to me, right? The price. And I still ask for a fucking coupon. I got a coupon code for 7%. And it's not coming out of my pocket.
Well, thank you for saving the government money.
Right? And I was like, I emailed her. I'm like, hey, you got any coupon codes? She's like, yeah, you know what? I'll give you the 7% VA discount. And I was like, thank you.
Well, you're doing all of us a favor because that's more money to spend on the veterans.
Right?
Good. Yeah.
And, some people are like, oh, Eddie, you're taking money from the government. You know what? Hey, I'm handicapped because of them. I might as well finally take advantage of it, right?
Well, I mean, I'm a civil veteran also.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was going to mention that because you were in the Navy. There is something, it's a naval term that everybody knows. It's like a saying that you say. Sometimes you can just say that to a person and be like, oh, I know what saying you're talking about. But it's because in the Navy, like, oh my gosh. They have a lot of sayings, and I never knew what it meant until I watched NCIS, and they're like, yeah, well, that's a Navy thing, Like the water cooler. What do they call the water cooler? In it was something about water cooler.
Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt. That's it. Scuttlebutt. I never knew what scuttlebutt was before.
Yeah, like a bulkhead. There's a wall.
So that what they're saying here? Like if you're watching jail TV shows, they'll pump the water out of the toilet, and they talk into the toilet because they can talk to people on other floors. So is that what that scuttlebutt means?
I'm not really sure. Scuttlebutt is, just basically talking around the water cooler.
Okay. So I didn't know what scuttlebutt meant. I heard scuttlebutt, but I never knew that it was related to the Navy.
Bulkhead. Bulkhead.
Have you heard of the since you were in the military? Have you heard of this thing called the ID-10T form?
I've been out of the military for over 20 years. So
I don't know how recently they started using this, but it had probably happened in basic training or very early in but it was called an ID 10T form.
He's saying the numbers for a reason. I've heard this joke. He's told me this joke before. So.
Yeah, no, it doesn't ring a bell.
Ivy.
Okay.
So think about it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a real thing. Supposedly it's a real thing. I've heard somebody in the military tell me this. I just didn't know how common it was. So it's a joke, but also a serious question. But if you were so you mess up with your commanding officer, who looks at you weird, and he's like, "All right, I need to go get an ID-10T form." You go to wherever you're supposed to fill out paperwork. I don't know how military bases work, and they just kind of start laughing at you, and they're just like, "Write that down for me, ID-10T form," and basically you're writing out idiot. And so it's like your commanding officer fucking with you.
Oh, right, yeah, that's like go get used batteries for the sound tower stuff.
Oh, see, my friend from the Navy, he told me that they would always ask, he's like, yeah, you gotta go ask the Admiral for the keys to the ship. We can't take off because we don't have the keys to the ship. That was one I heard they did.
When I started at one of the first high-end reps, find a left-handed spatula.
I bet you they make them. Let's look it up.
Well, I worked with my mom at Domino's Pizza with her and my stepdad when I was a teenager, and my mom says, well, because she threw, she was like making, like spin the dough, and she made a hole, and she goes, Connie, go get the dough patch kit. I was like, you lying bitch.
See, when I was a plumber, they said, hey, Eddie, can you go get the pipe extender?
Made me go look, and there's no fucking dough patch kit. I already knew it. She was fucking. I grew up with this woman. I knew she was fucking in the head.
As a plumber, I looked around for that pipe stretcher all I could. I finally went up to Troy, and I was like, hey, Troy, dude, I forget his name. He's like, Dale kept asking me to get him a fucking pipe stretcher. What should I do? He's like, take him this coupling. See, because you're extending the pipe by putting a coupling in there, right? But yeah, there is no pipe stretcher in plumbing.
Well, it's called your right hand.
Well, Jennifer Lopez would be my pipe, or Selma Hayek is my pipe stretcher.
Now, she's engaged and possibly married for the umpteenth time, so...
Which one, Jennifer Lopez or Selma Hayek?
Well, I thought you were talking about Jennifer Lopez. Now you switching to another one?
Oh, yeah, Selma Hayek is Selma Hayek. When I was married, we joked around.
I can't keep up with your girls, honey.
I love all women. That's why I am not discriminatory.
Oh, right. So you like that movie? Oh, what is it? Oh, darn! With Selma Hayek when she played.
What? Wild Wild West?
No.
Quentin Tarantino movies?
No, it was with
Dusk Till Dawn?
No, golly darn. With the sheesh.
What was she wearing? That'll help me.
She was wearing nothing. She played a stripper
That's Till Dawn.
No.
Dogma.
Dogma, yes.
Was she a stripper in Dogma too?
Saved my life.
I.
Yes. She was a, what do they call it? A muse. She was a muse, yes. Thank you for saving my life.
You know, it's funny. I didn't even think of that movie.
That's pretty much the only movie that I've really. I mean, I know she's in other movies. And I think she's beautiful, but I love Dogma. So I was like, "There's no way she's talking about."
That's
Dogma.
the liberal in you.
You said
Dogma.
Dogma's a great movie.
What Alanis? I got Kevin Smith made us. Alanis Morissette was God. Yeah.
Yes, and you got the
like it's satire. Like,
it is.
Take it serious. It's satire.
But some people do take it serious. That's the problem.
Oh, I know, but they're also they lick short bus tires, so I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, see, I'm not a Catholic, so I didn't understand most of the movie.
Oh, I grew up I went to Catholic school. I was an altar boy. I've been all that shit.
Fucking George Carlin as the priest, bro.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny.
What's the opposite of Catholic?
A Satanist.
Okay. So what do Catholics think is? What am I? I'm not Catholic. I just simply believe that.
Are you a Jehovah's Witness?
Jesus...
Are you gonna come knocking on my door later on with the little booklet?
Scientologist.
No.
Yeah, that is the opposite, huh? You're Are you hanging out with what's his name?
The Bible. No, you know what I really love when the Mormons come over, because that was like a free Bible study.
Well, speaking of Mormons, do you know Mormons when they show up to your house? Like, I learned this. When they're on their missionaries, their whole job is to help people. If they come over and say, "Hey, can I take out your trash for you?" You're not treating them as a slave. They're already getting paid by somebody to do that. And if they don't do it, then they get in trouble by their church. It's part of their mission. So you're hindering their mission is what I was told. Because you're not letting them help you. So if a missionary comes over and says, "Hey, I'm with the 7-day, 7-day Adventist or I'm a Mormon, can I take out your trash?"
Yeah.
Say yeah.
Well, I loved it when that guy came over on his bicycle and he knocked on my door. And
they got up on bikes.
Yeah, they're not allowed to have because they can't have cars.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm already a Christian.
Good night, Gra.
I was like, you know what? You've been like running around your bike. Would you like put some water? And then he gave me the Book of Mormon, and I still have it. And I let him give his spiel. And
my wife cooked him dinner.
Looks like.
My wife actually brought him in for her famous French red pizza.
I know, and the guy, he would come back, like, whenever he was in the neighborhood, like, look, just come back here, I'll refill your water.
Yeah, just a warning for you, though, Goofy. They're not allowed in the house with a female and them, so...
Well, then we done broke the rules.
Yeah, you guys broke the rules.
We done broke the rules, because I let him into my house, and he gave me the book.
Oh, thank you, Mike Jones.
Tell me all about, like, whoever that dude is who gave the second...
John Smith.
Christ.
Isn't it John Smith?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was John Smith.
And you know what's sad? Do you guys know how I know about frickin' the Mormons? By watching South Park. That's the only reason why I know his name is John Smith.
Well, I let him tell the story. I let him give his spiel. I let him give me my book. And it was the Second Testament of Christ. And I said, okay, well, let's talk about the First Testament of Christ. And I brought out my Bible.
There's something... Oh.
Bed.
It's Donnie. Come here. It's Donnie's cable. I'm wondering what the fuck is in my shelf.
Anyways, I like it when people come around because that's like Bible study for free.
See you later, EFO.
What was Drunk trying to say?
One of my best friends in middle school dated a Mormon girl, and
they're the best.
I didn't get like any of what Eddie said like lining up with her at all. She was like the first one giving it out in middle school.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, no, but I'm talking about the people that are on their mission. the people that are into it, then when they go on their missionary quest.
The white shirt, the tie on the bicycles,
yes.
with the helmet.
Yeah. Oh no, the Mormon girl. I dated a Mormon girl. She was the dirtiest, most. Yeah, she was great in high school. She was a fun.
Big family too, huge family.
But like.
Well, I do know from hanging out in church and stuff, like some of the worst kids are the kids that go to Bible study, or like the kids of the, because we got like the, people that are in our study and whatever, and they bring their kids and they go to the youth thing, and I've hung out with some of those kids and I've connected with some of those kids, and it seemed like that was like some of those kids
mm-hmm.
were the worst.
Oh yeah, the first time I got arrested and I went to jail, it was like a Catholic school reunion. I rolled in there and this guy's like, "Hey, what's up, Eddie?" And I'm like, "Do I remember?" He's like, "Yeah, 3rd grade. Sister Mary Dennis's class." And I was like, "Oh shit, what's up, bro?"
Like, so how old were these kids that you were running into that were the worst? Approximately.
Oh, me? Oh,
yeah.
These were some of the teenagers, and I got involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course they were.
Well, some, but not all. It kind of depends on like how hypocritical the parents are, how active they are in the church and stuff.
No, that's where you find girls when you're a teenager. You can't manage your school. You go to church, bro.
Right. Well, let me tell you what.
You go to Latin mass with all the Mexican girls.
Well, let me give you a little bit of inspiration, because one of my favorite things was the kids' church, because there was this one kid. His mom was like a stripper, and the dad was like not available, and he was being raised by his grandparents, and he was 4 years old. And oh my gosh, I love that kid. He loved me. He called me sister. So he calls me his sister. But anyway, he was 4 years old. I was like probably almost 30. But these kids, so I would because of him, I would go and volunteer my time before church or during church with the 4-year-old, 4 years and younger. And some of these kids prayed better than elder people. Like some of the older people, I mean, like some of these kids, I mean, they were amazing. I mean, they were amazing. And at the same spectrum, with the teenagers, and I had connected with this one girl, and she wasn't doing so hot, and so that's how I know that it was like, there wasn't a whole lot of.
Well, the problem is with
care of the teenagers.
Well, in the Mormon society, you can't. There's no caffeine. There's so many rules, and when you put that many rules on a person, it makes them want to fight back.
That's just in the Bible. Like, show me the scripture. That's what I'd say. Show me the scripture.
Yeah.
Tell me I can't do something. Show me the scripture. That's what I say.
It feeds into the body as a temple thing. It's a more strict viewing.
Right.
Of
it. How do you get a girl to like you? Tell them, "Fuck you, bitch. I don't want you. I don't like you. You're ugly." And you go talk to another girl. It's the truth. It's, girls, they say, "Why can't I find a man like him? He treats his girl right." Well, you've had it the whole time, but you don't like the nice guys. You like the guys that treat you like shit. It's just human nature. I'm not saying you girls are bad. I mean, guys do it too, right? I like a girl that's a bitch to me. Hell, I married one. I mean, come on, right?
Where is she now?
She's gone. She's gone.
Thing.
Wait, where is she now?
She's gone. She's hold on a second. I divorced my wife. I applied for a divorce 2 years ago. It finally went through last year. I am free. No ring. She was a Democrat too.
It's funny because they give you like this little, like nice little, what is it, when you get your marriage license, they give you this like really cool thing.
Okay, yeah, it's like you're a degree almost.
When I got my divorce, I was like, well, I want like a big plaque.
I did. I got a big, huge bill. I had to pay her for half of the value of the house that I already paid for in the first place. Then I had to pay her I had to give her a car that I already made all the payments on. Yeah. I was married to a woman who went to college, got 2 degrees, and still worked at a job making less than minimum, well, not less, but making minimum wage.
But that's very funny because I paid for my husband's rent and I paid for his school while he was fucking somebody else. So
we're in the same boat. We're in the same. But I'm happier now. You know what? I sold. Once we got divorced, I sold the house and moved up here, and then I bought a brand new truck, and I'm happy. And Donnie, I got Donnie after my wife. Oh, Donnie, he makes me happy. Not that Panda doesn't make me happy too, but.
And the Browners.
And Brownie. Brownie she heard you. Come on, little bitch. Come on, Brownie. Come on, sweetheart. Come on. Come this way. Come on. There she is. There's Brownie. Come on. She loves saying hi to everybody. Huh. She bit the FBI.
Like a schnauzer?
Yes, they say she's like a schnauzer. She's a mixture. I don't know. We got her from Facebook.
She's a handful. That's what she is.
Oh, yeah.
The best dog.
We rescued her. Huh, I rescued you, didn't you?
She's about to just fuck up Donnie.
Oh, she will. She does. You guys have seen the video. She fucks Donnie up all the time.
So Eddie, did you fix Donnie's what he broke?
He broke a couple things over the weekend. What are you talking about?
I mean that back collar thing. Right?
No, in fact, no, I can't grab on the handle. No, he broke his handle.
I figured you like sewed back on.
Look at Panda. Panda's putting him in check. Look at that. She puts her head. Look at her. She's put him in check.
My block.
But now look at her. Now she's clean. She takes care of Donnie.
Aww.
She did that to my old Saint Bernard too, when I had Jackie. She did the same thing to him.
Saint Bernards are the best.
Yeah. So are Border
They're
Collies
big.
though. Border Collies are the best. Panda's a good dog. So is Brownie. And I had a pit bull that I just put down.
You're the best, so I'll fight you. You want to fight?
No, I'm not gonna fight.
So Eddie, I got a question for you.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. We got a question. Yes.
Do you think that when most people get married, they know who they really are?
I think when I'm not bashing marriage by any means. When I got married, it's different for me because you know what? I've been disabled my whole life. When I met my wife, I was at a down point in my life, and I thought no girl was gonna date me anymore because I'm handicapped and I was this crippled guy, When if y'all know me, I'm the most outgoing person in the world. And I got married for the title, I think, to be honest with you. I don't think she was the right person for me at the time or even now.
But I'm meaning more of like when most people get married, do you think that they really know who the other person themselves are?
Oh, who they are themselves?
Yeah, like, let's say I'm getting married to, like, I'm John and I'm getting married to hypothetical Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think I, as John, when I'm getting married, the vast majority of people filling that role, like, do you think they have any idea of who they actually are?
I don't think you ever know who you are because you're changing. Your whole entire life, you're changing. Nothing's set in stone.
Yeah,
no, there's constants. There's constants.
There is.
If you get in a bad way and you get really hurt, any negative traits you had when you were an infant and a child, they'll be, like, magnified. So, like, who you are as a person, like, yes, your perception of it, and you can, like, grow and change to limited extents and limited ways, but you pretty much are the way you are for your life.
I can see that, yeah.
A lot of people, they're delusional. Like, they go into it thinking it's something, and, they're looking for a partner that they don't really know who they are. Their partner doesn't know who they are. They don't know who they themselves are, and they kind of get caught up in this whirlwind, and they'll hit a bump in the road and then get divorced, or they'll hit a bump in the road and they'll stick with it and then end up getting divorced for reasons they would have spent time beforehand learning who they are, who their partner is, and who they, when you take the 1 + 1 = 2, the two of them, what person does that combine as? The people that go through that process, like, they're the ones that are successful. Like, you look at old people, how is it you were married for 50 years? What's your secret? It's like they knew who they were. They knew who their partner was. Like, they courted each other. There was a lot more time that was invested in it, type of thing.
No, I totally get that.
They also seem to hate each other.
Some, not all. Not all.
Oh, but, well, I guess that was just my family.
Well, that's what family is, drunk. It's not a Thanksgiving until somebody gets in an argument. Then it's Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, I do think it really all depends. Because nobody really knows who they are, and like you never know, how people are going to react. Because what matters is love is not a feeling. Love is an action. And, like, I love my husband, and he's done some really horrible things, and I've stayed with him, and he's probably going to do more horrible things. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But, love is, just, it's not...
Together.
What's something saying? Love is deaf, blind, and stupid.
Pretty much.
I'm not talking about that kind of love. Because that kind of love is not going to stand next to somebody who's going through cancer.
No.
So that kind of love is not going to take somebody to appointments.
But that's not what he.
No, that's exactly what it means. Love is deaf, blind, and stupid. Like once you're in love, you do anything.
I was just trying to say we're veering off from the original question.
What's the original question?
He's talking about, what he's saying is when you get married, do you know who you are yourself? When you've been yourself, even though yes, your opinions may change and stuff, you're still who you are. You still have that basic, everything's a foundation.
Well, the vast majority of people, they're reactive. Like they go through life like it's a pinball machine, and it's like they have a plan and they move forward, and then they have to react to something, which gets them on an alternate trajectory, and then they move along and try to course correct, and then they have to react to something else and react to something else. It's why the midlife crisis is so prevalent, because they wake up and they're like, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. Like, I have to cheat on my wife, or I got to buy a Corvette, or I have to join a motorcycle gang. Like, people are predominantly...
doing jujitsu.
People are predominantly reactive, though, and they don't know who they are.
That's drunk uncle to a T right there. Your typical...
No, I was saying... Drunk uncle, that is a good expression of self.
And I get good at...
No, but... And I always blame my wife for everything, but yeah, but I was part of the problem too. I got an attitude. I bite people just like I was taught when I was a kid. Like, it's your foundation. Yeah. Like, I remember wanting one day to send a song to my stepdad, Linkin Park, which was it, In the End, I think it is, where he's saying, I'm trying not to be like you, but really I am. That's what the whole song is about. And I'm my stepdad, I'm not going to lie. Right? And it's funny, I see myself doing now the shit that he used to do to me when I was a kid. Just the way it is.
Well, once you recognize it, what are you going to do about it? That's all that matters.
I can recognize it, but in the moment, I don't care. In the moment, I just react. Like he's saying, you react.
But how do you want to be?
I don't want to be. I hate myself when I get like that, right? But in the moment, I can't control it. Like Donnie, when he sees another dog.
No, you can't control it. You're not the. Don't compare yourself to Don.
No, it is though. It is. It's the exact same thing. We're all animals. I can't control it. There's
genuine change and growth is really, really hard. Because you can wish for things to be better and have like positive affirmations you tell yourself in the mirror, like I'm going to be different, this and that. Like those are part of the solution, but it's not where you're actually correcting it. It's a constant struggle. Like when you're getting, you know, it's not changing how you are when you're angry. A better way to look at it is, how do you get yourself in a position where you're not getting as angry as possible? So if you're not getting as angry, you have a better handle on it when you do get angry, that you know, okay, I'm at this stage, I need to walk away, or I need to explain, like, I'm getting really upset, I'm toxic as shit, and you just need to, like, give me 30 minutes, like, we need to talk about this a different way, this isn't gonna fly. Like, that kind of self-discipline where you know yourself that deeply in your bones is really hard to do. That
Very hard.
self-awareness.
And it's so fast. I can go from here to there in like, sorry, drunk. Let me just say this, I can go from here to there in like 1/1,000,000th of a second. And drunk, what were you saying?
I'll say, well, in that case, either don't get married or just live with the person. Like, this has been my thing that I've done. I move them in relatively quick, and you figure out relatively quick if it's going to work or not. And that way, you know, we're not tied, but, you know, live with them. That's the best thing to do.
Another thing about knowing yourself.
I disagree. I wouldn't be allowing.
For the most part.
Another thing about knowing yourself is when you get in a relationship, if you have a list of things that you know you will not tolerate, the things that are not okay with it. If you get with a woman, as from the male perspective, and you're like, I am not okay with you doing social media. I'm not going to tell you no, but like, if you want to be with me, like, this is something that we're going to have to at least have a compromise about. Like, it's something I'm not okay with, where people, they need to be aware of themselves and their limitations. Like, if you're a man or a woman and it drives you nuts when shit doesn't get in the hamper, you need to be like upfront that this is a big thing, and be able to have that mature level of compassion for the other person as well as communication, so that you can amicably work through things.
Are you my wife's therapist or something? I was kidding.
No, I just pay attention to things.
No, I'm joking. It was a joke.
You're good.
Policies getting let up, or, you know, I don't have any of those pet peeves.
Oh, I have a lot of pet peeves. I have tons of them.
I don't have any pet peeves.
No, because people, they don't know themselves, and so they'll get in these relationships, and they'll.
Okay, we can't talk over each other, guys. We can't talk over each other, guys.
Because they'll boil over, and next thing you know, you're fighting with your spouse. It took a different face. It's using different words, but you're still fighting about that shit that happened a year and a half ago, because it hasn't been resolved, because you weren't upfront about your limitations, like something that genuinely bothers you.
Yep.
You have to know yourself and the other person before you even get into the relationship, because it's like you're in a marriage, and it's like when things go badly, the two of you fall down a well, and you need to have each other's back, and both of you with your hands and legs are pushing against the well, and you work together to get out of the hole during the hard times, because you have that foundation. And that's why all marriages that fail they don't know themselves, they don't know their partner, they don't have that foundation to draw on.
Well, I started resenting my wife. I literally started resenting her. I hated her. Like, she's like, how come you don't want to do this with me anymore? It's like, because I hate you. Yeah, you're the only married one in here. Well, you're married. I don't know if you know, I don't want to shred your name. That's why I never say your name. But
just call me Ash.
All right, Ash.
Just call me Ash.
So, Ash, can I ask, are you married?
No, I'm divorced.
Okay, you're in the same.
I was in the Army, and there was shenanigans. A building blew up, chemical exposure, and I got a medical discharge. And
well, thank you for your service.
My situation drastically changes. You're welcome. It's fine. My situation drastically changed, and she left. Which, at least she did it up front and didn't like string me along for years and years. She just was. We had that level though, where she was like, I can't be handling this, and if you love me, you got to let me go. And I was like, okay, that really fucking sucks, but like, kid staying with me, and she was like, yeah, okay, because she knew the kid would be better with me, kind of thing. But that's just my personal situation.
Well, everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I remember, so my wife is the one that got me going to therapy, and she got me on these. I quit taking them a couple months ago. That's why I've noticed too, like, I might be more fucking. They had me on these pills called. First, they put me on this pill called Celexa, and like I started taking that pill, the doc is shit on my leg, and I just feel like, whatever, you know what I mean? And now they had me on this one called venaflexin, to where, because it's the medicines, like I stopped taking it, and now I see myself getting madder and madder. But then my stepdad's like, well, you shouldn't be on the medicine. You need to learn to handle it yourself. I don't know.
Because with my personal situation with being a veteran, and when you talk about PTSD month and other things I don't really want to go into.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be super disciplined with, like, avoiding certain kind of situations that, like, I know I'm going to handle badly. Because when I go to Walmart, I have something known as hypervigilance. I mean, I don't really like to go into my personal baggage, but, like, I see people as threats. It's constant threat assessment. And when I'm there, I'm under an intense amount of stress. Mm-hmm. So me knowing myself, I had to moderate my behavior, like go to smaller grocery stores, or like when I do go to Walmart, try to go there like as like 40 minutes after they open on like Sunday morning when it's all just old people, or whatever it is. Like, or if I know that I'm going to go in a situation that's going to be with people that are super toxic, because I'm going to be like thinking about all the ways that I need to handle this, and it's really unhealthy for me. So that's like, so far as not taking drugs and like dealing with anger, so far as me personally, Eddie, because I had a lot of like being angry at God and like I'm being punished, and things that used to be as natural as breathing, I can't do anymore, or like I have to find other ways to do it. Like I had this whole roller coaster of learning myself as I am and trying to come to terms with it, but also really hyper moderating myself and like what situations I allow to happen.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh, it does. And it's like funny, you know, I talk about myself going over, you know, flipping out real easy, right? My stepdad, he has severe PTSD, and I'm the only one that can calm him down. Nobody else in my family can handle it. I know where maybe it's because I can see his points, or maybe, you know, his points of change as you're talking about, or maybe it's because him and I are the same person now, because my dad died when I was 6. He took over when I was like 7. So, but I know totally what you mean about the PTSD, and it's, as he's getting older, because he's 87 now, he tells me stuff, and the stuff that he tells me, I'm just like, it makes your mouth drop, what he had to deal with, you know, or not what he's seen, I should say, in his life. You know, it's very upsetting.
He moves around really well.
Yeah.
There's some messed up stuff out there, because the thing about PTSD month, as you mentioned it earlier, if you don't mind my 2 cents on it.
No, I love veterans.
There's a lot of people, and I'm not even talking about combat versus non-combat. I'm talking like somebody that like they get upset and then they'll like be going on like, oh no, I have PTSD, I'm always reliving it. It's like your level of what you think that is. Like, I know you can't judge other people's situations, but it's still like there's a difference between not being able to go to the gas station because you remember what burning flesh smelled like, and all you had was fuel from your damn vehicle to burn bodies. Like, there's a difference between that level of PTSD versus like you had a bad week, and feels bad for those people that, and I'm not trying to cast judgment, but it's like with the whole PTSD awareness month, like that's been taken over by Pride Month, the people that legit have like bad PTSD, they don't want it out there. Like, I'm super uncomfortable being on YouTube talking about this, but it needs to be brought up that like they don't want it to be that like they have PTSD, so you have to hold the door for them. Like, they want to overcome it. It's like they're in the shit way, but they don't want to be treated like a victim.
Yeah, just like when I say thank you for your service, right? I mean, most veterans, they don't know how to react to it. you say it because it makes you feel good. It does. Most of the time, it doesn't make the veterans feel good, right? Because you're taking them out of their comfort zone. Am I correct on that thinking, or?
Yeah, I mean it's nice and flattering, but it's like what I was just doing my job. Like I signed on the dotted line and I did what I was ordered to do. Like it's.
But you still did it.
It's a weird disconnect.
Yeah.
I get what you mean, that it is a discomfort, but it's nice to hear that people are like, you did a thing for me and you didn't even know me, and I'm appreciative of that, which it's really nice for people to do that. Like I get it, but it's still awkward as hell.
Yeah, definitely. And the reason why I say that, because every time I say thank you for your service, you'll see like 90% of the time they get a weird look on their face, like they don't know what to say, and it's awkward. It's definitely awkward. So instead, now, like, you guys see what I do. I go to the VA hospitals and I donate. I bring them pizzas, and you know, that's my way of saying thank you.
The VFW, like, that's another great one. You'll get a lot of like old school cats that, like, I think I had it bad. No, these dudes, they're like not safe vehicles going through like mountain treacherous ass in like old school APCs that are like single bars with canvas over them, and the truck rolls and the dude, like, half his body got crushed, and like he's one of 12 dudes that survived.
Yeah.
And he has to go to the VA or the VFW all the time, and it's like, it's humbling, because it's like, even though what happened to me was really bad, like old school cats though, like anytime I see somebody that's got like a Vietnam hat, or especially a World War II hat, like I go out of my way to help them, because they had it a lot worse.
Yeah, there's a guy, he's no longer with us, right? And you know, he was an Elks member with me, and I went to his house a couple times, and he like, yeah, look, here's me with, you know, with Truman, and like, it was just amazing hearing his stories, and I didn't even know the half of it. It came out, I'm trying to look up his story. He got hurt, right? And he was never given the Purple Heart, because you only get the Purple Heart is if you go to a if you gotta be in the hospital, right? He never went to the hospital. It was his last day over there in World War II, and I think he saved like 300 men and women.
Yeah.
Something like that, just him alone, right? And he was hurt, and he still kept fighting. But because it was his last day in the military, you know, he was discharged the next day for good reasons. You know, he never went to the hospital. Yeah, he finally, like 30 some odd years later, or not even that, it was like 60 years later, got his Purple Heart. So,
yeah.
I've shown the video before. It's from like ABC 30 or something. Let me find it. Here we go. I'll show you guys the video. Let's see. Can we watch it? Do they have the video? It says California veteran gets surprise Purple Heart 65 years after World War II. And it was at the VFW. So it says Martin Median. He's no longer around with us. I still remember he'd always come to the Elks Lodge with his little tiny wiener dog Joey. So 69 years, 2 months, and 6 days after being shot by a German sniper on a French battlefield in World War II, Martin Median, 88, got a long-awaited surprise. He went to his local VFW post for a fundraising dinner, and when it was over, he was pinned with a Purple Heart. Oh, here it is. So it says, Median was injured while he rescued 283 soldiers trapped by machine gun fire.
Yep.
Right? He never asked for that award. He definitely deserved it, though. You know? It's pretty amazing. And he was a great guy. Real great guy. He'd always come to the bar and he wants to buy everybody around, you know? The kind of guy he was.
Hell yeah.
And on that note, you know what, guys? I think we're going to end the show. That's a good note to end the show on.
Yeah.
You know? Always thank your... I mean, don't always thank your veteran, but do something to help him out. Go donate something to... and look into the charities before you donate. Please. I was at the Elks Lodge. We raised $8,000 for a veteran charity. We got an email from the head of the Elks the next day saying you can't donate to that. You can't donate that money. There's fraud involved.
You can always go up to the VA itself and find out what opportunities they have for volunteering.
Oh yeah. they have tons of volunteers. I mean, just walking, you know, they have people when you come up to the, whenever I go to the VA hospital, there's people out front. Hey, can I push your wheelchair to the, up the steps? Not steps, but you know, the ramp.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's tons of opportunity you can do to help out veterans.
And you don't even have to just like go up there and do it.
Well, I think the VA is pretty. You gotta sign a release form and stuff like that. So.
I heard that whole thing about you know, not saying, you know, thank you for your service. I don't know if it's a vet that told me that or if I just heard it through the grapevine, but I really have steered away from saying that, and I just kind of feed off, you know, when and how they bring it up, and I'll just ask very just basic questions. And if it seems like they want to talk about it, then we'll talk about it. But if not, you know, it's like, oh, cool, you know, what branch? And, you know, if they say Marines, I bring up my, you know, my grandfather. I was like, oh, yeah, he was Marine, Korean War, Guam, he was stationed in Guam, and, you know.
I was stationed in Guam.
Nice.
That's cool.
Dude, like I learned so much. Like my stepdad, the older generation military. Not to cut you off, Goofy, but they keep their mouth shut. Like I still don't know half the shit my stepdad did. We're at Lowe's the other day, and he saw somebody with a Korean War veteran hat on, and he's like, "Hey, sir, you know I'm commander," and I won't say my stepdad. And I look at him like, "You never told me you're a fucking commander." You know, the stories that he's told me matches up, but you know.
The thing you gotta remember is it's like living an entirely different way. That, like, if you've been in the shed or whatever it happens to be called, and you've lived that life, you genuinely can understand. Because two vets that have been in a bad way, like in a genuine, they can like look at each other and just their body language, and they can like sit by each other and perfectly get along because like they have that bond of brotherhood that also extends to sisterhood. But like if you try to explain it to people who weren't there, that haven't, it's such a, it can be very, very difficult to bridge that gap.
Yeah, he was one of my best friends, you know, and there's so much stuff he did I didn't understand, you know, and I would always tell him like, dude, you're worrying too much, and he's like, no, Eddie, I'm not. You really have to worry about this stuff, and you know, God bless him, he served, and like he would, when we'd be out in public, he would always be the last person, and he'd always be going like this, zigging back and forth, and I'm like, hey, bro, why you keep zigging, zagging? He's like, cousin, you're not a target, so you gotta, you know, you're always gotta be moving. And then he wasn't in the army anymore, but it was still just ingrained in his head. He had to be doing that. You know, we're out on a shopping street at the mall.
Like as an example, in Vietnam, you ever see a vet that has scars under his chin? They were in a real bad way because soldiers, it would get so bad, they would take sharpened stakes of bamboo to put just underneath their chin when they were on guard duty. So that whenever they start to fall asleep, they literally stab themselves, and they still have the scars, because there would be people in the friggin' jungle waiting to butcher them, because they're defending their homes, and you're there on orders, you're defending your brothers. I mean, it's really weird sometimes to see, like, people from the Korean War, Vietnam War, or World War II, like, you'll have people from one side and the other, and it's super awkward. But they still have that weird, we were both there. Like, we were both in the shed. We would have killed each other, but now, like, we can be peaceful and, like, completely get along because, like, they have that shared history. That explaining that to someone else who hasn't been in the it's so difficult to do.
Well, it's like, so
Ashton,
drunk on, oh, sorry.
Do you volunteer? No, I'm sorry. Do you volunteer, Ashton?
I do when I can, but the whole single parent thing, I don't have the time I should for it, but
yeah, I know. I mean, there's other exactly. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's all good. No. That's the whole point. Everybody can talk on here. And you're both military. I'm not military. I'm just, I never could. I still remember when I turned 18, I went down there, and where I grew up in this little town of Lompoc, you're making minimum wage or else you're not making anything, right? There's either owned a business or you're making minimum wage. There was no in-betweens. And so I tried to join the military, and they're like, you can't, because you're handicapped. I said, I'm handicapped because of you and your Agent Orange. Just let me in. I was trying to join. They wouldn't let me. I even went in the Marines, and this Marine officer was sitting there looking at me. He's like, I can't, sir. He's all, what would happen if we went into battle? I said, I'd whoop your fucking ass. Come on right now. That's how much I wanted to join the military,
But not every position is a battle position. I mean, especially between, you got yeomen. Well, I'm talking like Navy. Like secretaries. I was in the Navy, and I did weather and oceanography. I wasn't going to be on the front lines. I was basically going to tell you what the weather's being like.
But didn't you have to go through basic training? I can't do basic training.
Of course I did. Well, I mean, okay.
That's what they based it on. I would have never made it through basic training with my body, no.
So were you still wanting to end the stream?
Yeah, we're still on the stream. I haven't ended it yet, sorry.
No, it's all good.
In fact, we should. Yeah. I've been trying to go to bed for a while, so.
In my belly.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me.
No, thank you. You have a different opinion. Like, that's why we have Drunk on here. Drunk and I don't agree on everything all the time. Goofy and I don't agree on everything hardly ever the time. No, I was kidding, Goof. But we all have different opinions on here.
Like I said, there's 3 ways we can settle this: pudding, Jello, and pillows.
Ooh.
That's how we settle it.
Pillow fight with another.
Pillows, pudding, or Jello. And I don't, it could be all 3 at the same time.
You know what pissed me off? I went to Costco the other day, and they had a thing, a big old box, and it was like really cheap, and it was from Jello, right? They had pudding and Jello in there. I'm like, don't give me both. I don't like Jello. I actually don't like just the consistency. I don't know. I can't handle it.
Okay.
Give me a whole bunch of pudding.
We won't do Jello.
No.
Pudding?
I love pudding, especially. Remember back in the old. You're old. Oh no, you're not old enough. The Jello pudding pops.
No, I think I'm older than you are, Eddie.
I'm 45. I'll be 46 in like 2 months.
Well, I'll be okay. So I'm 48 and 11/12.
Okay, well then you remember Jello pudding pops. Those things were the best thing when you were a kid.
Oh my gosh! Yes, exactly. And I was like, oh, I love those.
Heck,
and then when they went away, it was like so terrible. But you know what? We can make our own Jello pudding pop.
Yeah, all you gotta do is freeze the freaking Jello.
I always thought pudding pops were cursed.
You thought they were cursed?
What?
Yeah, I thought it was just so cursed. Just pudding in general or pudding pops.
Really?
I could never. I don't like pudding.
Wow.
Why? Because I don't want to like suck on snail ass. Like. Some people like pudding.
I love pudding.
Well, that's very interesting because how do you know it's sucking on snail ass?
Yeah, how do you know what that tastes like?
Taste like?
I thought there was a don't ask, don't tell rule in the army. Leave me alone.
I'm sorry.
Where did this stream end up going? Holy shit. You know what, everybody? Hey, it's PTSD Awareness Month. Yes, it's Pride Month, you know. But take care of our veterans, too. Because you know what? There would be no such thing as Pride Month without the veterans getting their PTSD.
So whether you're a veteran or not a veteran, because I can tell you what, from what I've seen what you've done, Eddie, you've done a hell of a lot more than I've been able to do for my community.
Well, thank you.
You've been, doing the pizzas and getting out there and spreading the word.
That's easy though. That's the easy part. The hard part's the one going out there and risking your life for people you don't even know.
Well, yeah, you're right, but I'm speaking on my own. Like I'm not able to get out and do those kind of things, so I really touches my heart when you do that. So
well, thank you. I love you too. I love everybody here, even that Janet person that was coming in trying to troll us. And boy, did they must have really been pissed off at me. They were coming back straight with 5 different names for like an hour and a half. That's commitment.
They had a gotcha moment. Like it's like, gotcha, pay attention to me. No, I got you. I got you. I got proof. I got you. It's just any attention to them, it just galvanizes them. You just fucking ignore them.
Yeah. So I finally did. But every once in a while they hit, like when they came in as Ashley Babbitt, and when they said, oh yeah, I got what I deserved, that set me off. I was like, all right, you're done. I had to kick that Ashley Babbitt.
Ways to, like, pull out your nose hairs and, like, get your goat and, like, you know, get your blood up and, you know, get you saying something while recording you to get you to act a fool. And then they're like, oh, you just completely devalidated yourself. I don't even have to argue because you just proved what you did because I antagonized you. Yeah. That's all a troll wants to do.
Yep. And I let them get their way. I was cool, but I let them get their way a little bit. It's all right. It's all right. All right, guys. Well, once again, we're gonna go. But thank you to all the veterans. Don't forget, it's PTSD Awareness Month. You don't have to do anything. You know, if you're say you go to Starbucks and you see a veteran behind you, hey, say, hey, you know, here's an extra $20. Pay for the next 5 people behind me, or whatever it is. You know, you don't have to go up to them and you know, that might be embarrassing towards them. Just, you know, help them out. And if they don't want the help, you know what they do? I've seen it before. They're like, I don't need the help. Here, and they gave it to the person behind them. Right? So just think of your veterans, because you Pride people, you wouldn't have Pride Month without the veterans. I wouldn't be disabled without the veterans, or I wouldn't have my, you know, my ability to have this show with Drunk Uncle here without our veterans.